It's been 308 days since the Vikings last won a football game. Still, they have sold out the Metrodome for the 49th consecutive time, as some of the best fans in the National Football League are on hand to see if their Minnesota Vikings can win their first game of the season as they take on the 1-3 Detroit Lions in Week 6 of the NFL on Fox. Hello again, everyone. I'm Kurt Menefee, along with my partner Tim Green. And Tim, both these teams predicated on offense, particularly a Detroit team that has a rookie quarterback who has everyone excited right now.
Joey Harrington is really exciting because of the poise that he has. Very unusual for a young quarterback to make the kinds of decisions he makes. He doesn't take a lot of sacks. He moves around inside the pocket. He also throws very well with a touch ball to the underneath routes. But the thing that's really exciting for me and for everyone in Detroit are these kinds of passes. He's got a great deep ball, and so he stretches the defense, and that opens up things for the running game in James Stewart and for the short passing game.
Now, when you look at the Minnesota Vikings, yes, they are 0-4, but they come in with the 7th-ranked defense in all the NFL, so moving the football is not their problem.
Yeah, 7th-ranked offense. You're absolutely right, Kurt. I mean, offensively, they can move the ball up and down the field. They're pretty good in the red zone. Their problems have been big plays on defense. They give up a lot of big plays, and then offensively, the turnovers. Dante Culpepper with 8 interceptions, 4 fumbles of his own. They're -10 in the turnover ratio. They have got to stop that. The other thing they've got to do, though, they've got to get balance. Dante Culpepper has got to stop looking for Randy Moss. He's got to spread the ball around the field. Look for Derek Alexander. Look for Dwayne Bates. And I think today you're going to see a lot of this man, Byron Chamberlain, the tight end, especially in the red zone, and that'll open up things for the running game. Michael Bennett, the running back today, he is going to carry the full load, and that's what they need. No turnovers and diversified offense.
So while they send out the call for diversified offense, you can pick up your phone and answer today's Sprint virtual coach question. Which head coach has done the best job so far this season? Use your PCS Vision from Sprint or log on to foxsports.com. Back with the opening kickoff from the Metrodome after this word from your local Fox station.
The Wolfpack. Yeah. Aggressive. Jump in on 3. 1, 2, 3. Jump in. Hey, we gotta come up and take down. Hey, I'll jump aside. Let's go, baby. Fight on 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
You're watching October's magical matchups on Fox.
The Agile Play of the Week is brought to you by Microsoft, providing software to help businesses be more agile. In Week 5, the Chiefs' Priest Holmes demonstrated why he's one of the premier running backs in the NFL as he caught Trent Green's pass for the winning touchdown.
Inside the 10 to the 5. He dives. Touchdown. Kansas City.
Jets linebacker number 51, James Darling, was no match for Holmes' agility.
Well, here at the Metrodome, this Minnesota Vikings squad has some fond memories for the head coach of the Detroit Lions, Marty Mornhinweg. And as a matter of fact, the Lions under Mornhinweg had lost their first 12 games last season, but took on these Vikings and won it 27-24 in thrilling fashion. The first victory as a head coach for Mr. Mornhinweg. And so now, as Mike Tice is a head coach looking for his first victory, he wouldn't mind repaying the price. Mornhinweg comes in with a record of 1-3 this season. The big win coming 2 weeks ago in their last game, knocking off the New Orleans Saints 26-21. They had a bye last week, as did this Minnesota Viking team, who stands at 0-4. Nick Davis, the deep guy, to take the kick. Jason Hansen set to kick it off for the Lions. Week 6 is underway from his 2-yard line. Davis has some running room. Brought down right at the 41-yard line by Chris Cash. Excellent return of 39 yards to get the Vikings started. So it will be excellent starting field position for Dante Culpepper, who's never lost a game against this Detroit squad.
And he told us yesterday that he wants to make better decisions, especially on 3rd down, Kurt. That's where he wants to not necessarily try to push the ball downfield, but go to his dump-off receivers, go to his checkdowns, or run the ball.
And the Vikings start this game with 4 wide receivers. Quick pass out to Randy Moss. Moss brought down almost immediately by Chris Cash. Well, here's the starting lineup for the Vikings. We mentioned 7th ranked offense in all the NFL, and they have been consistent across this offensive line. Their center, Matt Burke, among the best in the entire league. Bennett is the running back. Tice told us he should get the ball 20 to 25 times today. And they get Byron Chamberlain, their tight end, back. It's only his 3rd game this season. He's missed time out with a knee injury. Same story for Jim Kleinsauce for the H-back. Bennett's first carry. Picks up 4 yards, brought down to the 45. James Hall with the tackle. Hall, one of the strong front 4 for this Detroit Lions squad, along with Pritchett, Ellis, and Robert Porcher. The linebackers, Green, Claiborne, and Krewalt. And in their secondary, they start light along with the rookie Cash, Corey Harris, and Lamar Campbell in at safety. On 3rd down, Minnesota needs the 49-yard line of Detroit. Culpepper from the shotgun. Brings it down, scrambles, but won't get there. And there's another tackle by the rookie Chris Cash, who caught him from behind, holding him to just a 2-yard gain.
Well, Dante Culpepper said he wanted to make good decisions on 3rd down, and I know they want to look away from Randy Moss, but watch how wide open Moss is on this play. If they're going to single cover Moss, look at that right there. If they're going to single cover him with Todd Light, I know we want to get away from the Randy ratio, but man, if they're going to give it to you, you have got to take it.
Kyle Richardson on to punt for the Vikings. Desmond Howard, the deep man, back. High kick. Bounces inside the 5-yard line and right into the end zone. 53 yards on the punt, a net of only 33. And so Joey Harrington will get a shot at it, making his first road start as a professional. We mentioned the great game he had in his last contest against New Orleans.
Well, he did, and the impressive thing about that, Kurt, was that was a heck of a defense. You saw the pregame piece on Redskins quarterback Patrick Ramsey, another first-round rookie with a lot of pressure on him to win. The great thing for a young quarterback is to face the kind of defense that Ramsey faced with Washington last week against the Titans, 27th ranked defense. That's what Joey Harrington is facing today. This is a 30th ranked defense. That's a good thing for a young quarterback.
First down at the 20-yard line. Harrington goes up top right away. One-handed catch by Michael Ricks. And the tight end with a grab of 21 yards. Well, what a way to get started for this Lion team. Their offensive line is kind of stabilized after some injuries early. Back as Semple, Raiola, Brown, and McDougal, the guys up front. The running back is James Stewart, who's averaging just a shade under 5 yards a carry this season. Schrader and Oz Hakeem as wide receivers. Both guys battling leg injuries this week. Corey Schlesinger alone in the backfield will be dropped in the backfield for a loss of 2 yards on the play. The front 4 for the Vikings. Johnstone, Hovan, Robbins, and Mixon. Antonio Wilson makes his first NFL start at linebacker. Here's a guy who had been cut and re-signed already this season. Carter Chavis, the corners, the rookie Willie Offord, and Ronnie Bradford, the starting safeties. After the 2-yard loss, it's 2nd and 12. They run the reverse. Oz Hakeem going to be down near that first down marker. Tackle from behind by Patrick Chikora, but only after a pickup of 11 yards.
Well, that's got to be a play that Greg Biekert never expected. Biekert's the middle linebacker for the Vikings, and you're going to watch him come right here into the backfield, and he has a chance to make this play. He gets caught up with Harrington, doesn't even see the reverse. Biekert, a guy who is known for being able to predict plays and know what the offense is doing just based on their formation. So Marty Morningway comes up with one that Biekert hasn't seen before.
3rd and short. Lions need the 39. Harrington going for that. More wide open. Michael Ricks, and the tight end waltzes into the end zone for the touchdown. 41 1 yards on the score, and the Lions take the lead.
Antonio Edwards looked like he had the coverage. The linebacker who's filling in for the injured Andre Crockett and Lemansky Hall, he looked like he had the coverage on Ricks and just left Ricks wide open.
Well, we saw him wide open on the first play of the game, which he caught for a 21-yard reception, then 41 yards on the touchdown score. So Michael Ricks has been the man so far for the Lions. Jason Hansen on for the extra point. And he boots it through. So the Lions take their first possession of the ball game. 4 plays, 80 yards, and the touchdown.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
After the kick.
All this Minnesota Viking defense, 31st in the league in points allowed. Only Buffalo has given up more. And again, Joey Harrington took advantage of it right there on the first possession.
Another big play, Kurt. Another big play by this Vikings defense.
Well, they had 2 of them on that drive, a 21-yard pass to Ricks and then a 41-yarder for the touchdown. Nick Davis back to take the kickoff. Doug Chapman also back at the 5-yard line. Hansen boots it back to Chapman, who makes the grab. And he bounces it outside. Once again, an excellent kick return. 33 yards out to the 38-yard line. Culpepper will get another shot starting from there.
Linebacker Antonio Wilson bites on the play action, and then he's too late out on his coverage on the tight end here. There you see Ricks. There you see Wilson, leaving him wide open. Watch it again here. Harrington made that literally underthrew that ball. I think he saw how wide open he was, and again,
unbelievable.
He kept his poise. You know what I'm saying, Kurt? He kept his poise. He just lofted it up there. Lots of times, a young quarterback, they get excited. They see a guy that wide open, right? And they try to gun it downfield. Harrington's got great touch on his ball.
And he's got a guy in Ricks who is the tight end now, used to be a wide receiver, so he's got the speed when he gets into the open field. There was a holding call on that kick return, so the Vikings have been backed up to the 16-yard line, and this is where they start their second possession of the ball game. They go with 2 tight ends. On first down, they hand it off to Michael Bennett. Bennett doesn't get far before he's brought down. James Hall on the tackle.
Good play by Detroit's defense. Speaking of defense, we talked about the Vikings defense and all the big plays that they've given up. If you look there, 20-yard passes, 23 of them now, worst in the NFL, and then 20-plus yard runs, 4. And that's tied at 22nd.
On the scary thing, if you're a Viking fan or coach, is you've given up 2 on the first possession of the ball game. Whistles blow, flags come flying out. Our referee today, Larry Nemmers.
False start offense, number 61. 5 yards, still second down.
5-yard false start. And that's on the left tackle, Lewis Kelly. So it'll back him up 5 yards to the 12. Well, certainly not the way the Vikings wanted to start facing a Detroit defense that they thought they'd be able to do something against, coming in ranked 31st out of 32 teams in the league. Culpepper, quick pass. Bobbled and intercepted. Chris Claiborne takes the catch. Gets the touchdown. Derek Alexander had that one hit him in the hands, bobbled it, and dropped it right to Claiborne, who makes his third interception in the last 3 weeks.
Derek Alexander, big free agent acquisition. He was on a short rope anyway. Mike Tice told us he dropped 2 key passes last week or 2 weeks ago in the big loss to Seattle. Watch it here. The ball is right where it has to be. He drops that. Not only does he drop it, he serves it up for Chris Claiborne. And the Detroit Lions have to all of a sudden have the feeling of a little deja vu. This is exactly how things started out for them against the New Orleans Saints, their last game and their first win of the season. They came out, they were able to score, and they got a big play on their defense.
So Jason Hanson comes on for the extra point. Until the Lions have had 1 possession, they've scored 2 touchdowns, one by the offense, and then a 20-yard interception return by Chris Claiborne for the defense, and they lead 14-0.
Barrett Green on the right talking with his coach. He caused that interception. Chris Claiborne picks it up, and this is another continuation of Claiborne last week with this big interception against the Saints. Saints were driving late, and then this equally big play on a 2-point conversion late in the game. So Chris Claiborne really making his presence known on that Detroit defense.
And he picked one off the week before off Brett Favre that brought them close to the victory against the Packers. Doug Chapman with a short kickoff from the 11-yard line. Well, another good kickoff return by Minnesota as Andre Goodman forces him out of bounds in Lions territory. That's been the greatest thing for this Viking team so far as Chapman tries to get him going with a 40-yard return.
Well, Vikings have had good return game all game long, but offensively unable to do anything.
A 3 and out, and then an interception return for a touchdown, and Alexander comes back off the field.
Yeah, and Dwayne Bates has replaced him, and that's what I thought would happen.
A good field position for the Vikings as they start at the Detroit 49-yard line. Michael Bennett with a nice run of 7 yards. We run it out to Los Angeles and JB for our first game break.
Hey, Kurt and Tim, take a look at the rookie Patrick Ramsey seeing zone here. Picked off by the Saints, but the Washington defense did an excellent job of limiting the Saints to just a 21-yard field goal by John Carney. Saints up 3-0 over Washington. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Thanks, JB. And that, as I said, Kurt, that Saints defense, that's a whole different defense than Patrick Ramsey saw last week against the Titans. Much more similar to the defense that Joey Harrington will see today against the Vikings. A defense that struggled, especially giving up big plays, especially downfield with their secondary. Now, Detroit's defense has also struggled in the passing game.
Well, they're 30th in the league in points allowed. Only Minnesota and Buffalo worse. Culpepper runs out of time. Jared DeVries on the sack. Loss of 4 yards on the play.
Boy, Kurt, besides their return game, the Vikings just look totally deflated. Watch DeVries. There he is working against Lewinsky, and he just comes up underneath. And Dante Culpepper, you know, one thing I think that you're going to have to see, the Vikings are going to have to start to do is roll him out, Kurt. I think they need to get him away from that front four of the Detroit Lions, let him read half the field, and also open up the field so he can run it if nothing shows up downfield.
But he's got to convert this third down, and they do. Derek Alexander hangs on to this one down to the 28-yard line. And a first down for Minnesota after the gain of 18.
Well, Dante Culpepper beats the blitz on this play. He makes a nice decision. And Derek Alexander, watch him right here. He just runs this inside route. Just a short slant there. Right inside of Todd Light. Kurt, I think that's something that the Vikings, they've got to start to go to work on Todd Light and Chris Cash. Cash is a rookie.
Well, we got movement early on the right side of the line for the Vikings. And David Dixon, all 345 pounds of him, not happy about getting knocked over.
False start, offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on the right tackle, Chris Lewinsky's second penalty of the game for the Vikings.
Hang on, man.
Backs him up to the 33. Chamberlain. And the tight end forced out of bounds right at the 25-yard line, a gain of 8. Todd Light on the tackle.
Kurt, Randy Moss, despite the bad game he had last week, he's always going to draw a crowd. And so what the Vikings do here is they use Moss to kind of clear the zone. And so then Chamberlain runs this thing underneath here, and you see a bunch of bodies back there with Randy Moss. And that opens it up. And that's the kind of diversity that the Vikings are going to have to establish. Oh, my gosh.
And this time it's the left side that goes early. Well, this is not the start Mike Tice wanted from his squad.
You know, mental errors, it's not just in penalties, Kurt. You know, talking to the Vikings, and if you watch their defense on film, the problems they've had there have been mental errors as well.
Number 61, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
False start on 61.
Penalty in 2 or 3 possessions now for the Vikings. 2 of them have been on the left tackle, Lewis Kelly.
And I think, you know, mental errors being the theme here. You know, if you look at Dante Culpepper and his interceptions, a lot of those have come from mental errors by him or mental errors by the receivers, most particularly Randy Moss.
Culpepper gets rid of it. Bennett not going far, brought down at the 25-yard line by Barrett Green. And so it'll be a 3rd and long situation for Minnesota.
That was a nice reaction by both Green and Chris Claiborne.
Well, you see Minnesota's doing a good job in converting 3rd downs. 3rd and 7, though, is, you know, a lot tougher than a 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. Did I just state the obvious there for you?
It's okay.
Okay.
Sometimes I need that.
They have to get the ball to the 18-yard line for the first down. Out of the shotgun. Culpepper tries to get it in to Dwayne Bates, but it's broken up by Chris Cash, who is having a good start today.
You know, we talked to Matt Millen yesterday, the GM for the Lions. He said the game never gets bigger than Chris Cash. So no matter what Cash is doing out there, no matter who he's playing against, it's not that he is inundated with physical talent. It's just that he uses all the talent that he has to his best ability. He never gets intimidated by the fact that he's out there in the NFL. He's making plays, the people he has to cover, and he had great coverage on that.
A 42-yard field goal by Gary Anderson is good, and the leading scorer in the history of the National Football League gets the Vikings on the board. It's now a 14-3 game.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Miller Lite, life is best told at a place called Miller Time. By Microsoft, providing software for the agile business. And by Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings get on the board on that last possession, cut it down to a 14-3 game. And so for the second time today, the Lions will take over on offense. Desmond Howard, the deep guy, back to take the kick. Doug Bryant kicks it off. Howard from the 2. Harold Morrow with the stop. Howard with the return of 18 yards. And the last time we saw Joey Harrington, he was celebrating a touchdown pass. 2 completions on that first drive, 72 yards and a score. So he has gotten this city, really, the city of Detroit, excited. And when you talk to the players on the Lions, they are excited, even the defensive players, to be around this young kid after just 2 NFL starts.
Well, I like what Robert Porcher said. He said, you know, the best thing about Joey Harrington is he really has a lot of fun out there.
3 receivers in on first down, little shovel pass, and they're lucky that one didn't go into the hands of a defender. Kenny Mixon with the stop.
One thing about Detroit's defensive front, Kurt, is that they're a light front, and so they do a lot with stunts and they do a lot with penetration.
Well, we've seen a lot of trickeration, as the kids would call it today.
Is that what they call it?
That's what the kids call it. I'm not. I just hear them over when I over listen to their conversations. But the shovel pass there, they had the reverse on the first possession. Lions with a 2nd and long. Harrington to James Stewart out of the backfield, and Stewart brought down by Patrick Chakwera. The linebacker stops him after a 6-yard gain.
Well, we talked about Antonio Wilson being in there as a linebacker who's filling in, and Chakwera is also a backup linebacker for the Vikings. And I think the 2 big passes to the tight end by Detroit, Michael Ricks, are an indication of going after those backup linebackers.
Lions need the 30-yard line for the first down. 4 wide receivers in for Detroit. Harrington goes out to one of them, Scotty Anderson, and gets enough for the first down.
And this is an area where Detroit, I think, is going to want to continue to do, and that is put more wide receivers out on the field and expose the youth in the Vikings secondary.
Well, what they'd like to do is they've got Chavis and Tyrone Carter as their starters, the Vikings do, and they've got a rookie in Brian Williams as that nickel receiver, and Eric Kelly, who's really just a 3rd-year guy, hasn't played a lot, as the other backup cornerback. First down from the 31. Through the hands of Oz Hakeem, and that will be the first incompletion for Mr. Harrington.
Whenever you have a young quarterback, you need really the other players on that offense to make plays and to not have drop balls and to give him good protection and give him time, and you need to get a run game going, and that's essential for any young quarterback, because as soon as you get into known passing situations and as soon as you get behind in points, which they're not right now, but that's when the defense can start to throw exotic blitzes at you and start to take advantage of your inexperience.
They hand it off to James Stewart, runs through a hole. Falls forward for a gain of 7 yards. And Stewart is a hard runner when he's healthy. That has been the knock on him so far in his career. I mean, here's a guy who his career average is right around 5 yards as well, but, you know, staying on the field has been an issue.
Right, and when he is healthy, he's as you said, he's given the Lions a lot of effectiveness on the ground. I think in the last couple of weeks, he's definitely given that element to Joey Harrington. And again, that's what you need. If you have a young quarterback, you need a running game. You need things so that when you're in 3rd down, Kurt, you're in 3rd and short. You don't want to be in 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 15. A good run game is going to put you in 3rd and short situations.
The pass to Avion Kason out of the backfield, and he can't hold on to it. It falls incomplete. Ronnie Bradford hit him just as the ball was getting there, and so it'll be the first punting situation for the Lions today.
Well, that was a nice hit by Ronnie Bradford.
Well, there's a guy in his 10th year right now, first year as a Viking, coming over as a free agent from Atlanta during the offseason.
He is one of the older guys, and he is so beat up. They brought Jason Perry in, a veteran safety, just to spell him from time to time today.
Nick Davis on the punt return, falls down right at the 20-yard line. And so the Vikings looking to get back in this ball game. Maybe their defense will provide a spark. Late in the first quarter, Vikings trailing the Lions, who have come out and taken control of this ball game. Scored on a 41-yard touchdown in their first possession from Harrington to Michael Ricks. An interception return on the Vikings' second possession from 20 yards out. by Chris Claiborne, gave him a 14-0 lead. Right now, it is 14-3.
And Kurt, there's Sean Rogers, the second-year player for the Lions, the defensive tackle. You see he's got that cast on his left hand, but he uses a left-handed stance, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects his play.
Well, he makes the tackle right there on that one.
Didn't affect him much on that. Yeah.
Exactly, playing with a broken thumb today.
And that's a really difficult thing to do, because as a defensive lineman, you want to use your hands. You want to get your hands up into the pads of the blocker. And there he's working Corbin Lucini, comes underneath him and makes that play. And that's hard to do, because the first thing you want to do with your hands, and there he's coming off. I'm sure he tried to use that thing and probably
well, he's got pins in that thumb. He's got 4 pins that are holding it in place while it heals. They have to go back in there eventually and take those out once the bone heals. Michael Bennett, not much before he runs into a pile of Lions. We send it back out to Los Angeles and JB for another game break.
Hey, Kurt, quarterback Doug Johnson making his 3rd NFL start in for the injured Michael Vick. Looking, all guys are covered. Pump fakes, takes it in for 15 yards out, and it's the Falcons on top of the Giants by the score of 7-0. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Hey, Terry, hey, JB, we're not going to compare Terry to Doug Johnson, but I do remember Bradshaw, back in his days, doing a lot of that kind of stuff, pumping it and running right in himself.
Your memory's a lot better than everyone else's, I think.
He got compared to Jay Fiedler in the pregame. He didn't like that.
On 3rd down, Vikings lead to 31. Culpepper gets it. Talk about a running quarterback. There's 265 pounds all the way down to the 49-yard line. Give him 22.
Well, Dante Culpepper sees cover 2, so he sees the 2 safeties, Kurt, and watch them. They're going to go here and here, and so the center of the field is going to be wide open. You see that there? And then he sees this huge running lane in here, and he has the speed and the physical ability to take advantage of it. So that was a good run, but first it was a good read by Dante Culpepper.
Moss going in motion. They fake the handoff to Randy Moss. Good enough for another Viking first down. Gain of 12.
And on this play, we talked about rolling Dante Culpepper out. We talked about also, Kurt, if they're going to put one man on Randy Moss, and here it's Chris Cash, you have got to throw the ball to him. I mean, look at the separation he gets from the young Lions cornerback. And there you see Dante Culpepper with that rollout. It buys him a lot of space, and it threatens the defense that, hey, he may run. And the other thing about rolling out is he only has to read half the field.
First down, Culpepper from the shotgun. That's to Bennett out of the backfield. Breaks a tackle and gets down to the 26-yard line. Give him 13 yards.
Well, despite the fact that the Vikings are down by 11, we're seeing this offensive diversity starting to take place. Culpepper starting to spread the ball all over the field.
They seem to be weathering the storm right now, still trailing 14-3 and marching. Back at the Metrodome for the start of the second quarter. Vikings on top of, or make it Detroit on top of the Vikings. 14-3. Minnesota, though, with the ball at the 25-yard line. Culpepper working from the shotgun with 3 wide receivers. Hands it off, fakes the handoff, and rolls out to his left. There's Culpepper looking for a block, doesn't get it, but he picks up 6 yards on the run. So we've seen the Vikings run the ball 8 times for a 6-yard average. They passed it 9 times for a 6-yard average.
Well, and I think what we're seeing is, again, despite the fact the Vikings are down, we're seeing that balance in their offense that they wanted to achieve. And I think that's what they need to keep doing. The other thing we've seen them start to do, Kurt, is to roll Dante Culpepper out. As on that last play, it gives him a bunch of options. It gives him the option to see clearly, to throw to the check down. It gives him the option to throw the deep pass downfield, and it gives him a nice option to run.
Well, he throws a quick pass out to Derek Alexander, who uses his speed to get inside the 10-yard line. Forced out of bounds at the 5. We go back out to Los Angeles and JB for another game break.
Hey, Kurt, take a look. All 13 of New Orleans' points have come off of Washington turnovers. Here, Aaron Brooks making Washington pay, hooking up with Boo Williams for the 2-yard strike, 13-0. And then Rodney Heat, play action, hooking up with Brad over 25 yards, 7-0 Carolina over Dallas. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Well, our virtual coach question, the poll question today is which coach has done the best job. John Fox in Carolina certainly gets my vote. First and goal from the Vikings. Michael Bennett dancing his way down to the 3-yard line. Jared DeVries with the tackle. A couple of guys had a shot at him, but he wouldn't go down.
Well, Kurt, the thing that gets him down here is look at the space there between Chris Cash and Derek Alexander. And if the Lions are going to play the Vikings receivers that loose, that's exactly what Dante Culpepper has to do. He has to see it, and he has to make that quick throw.
Well, that was the play that set up the first and goal, and I think you've seen Alexander make a catch. You've seen Moss with a couple. They run it to Bennett. Culpepper's run it a couple of times. They've really spread it around so far. Bennett lowers his head, but doesn't get far. Down at the 2.
Well, I know that being first and goal to go on the 5-yard lane is a place where you want to be able to run the football and run it in. I think you want to do that for attitude, but I think that the Vikings would be well served to remember how they got down here, how they moved down the field, and they did it by rolling Dante Culpepper out and give him multiple options. And I would be surprised if you know, we didn't see something like that on this play. So maybe they'll trust to Kleinsaucer. He's in the backfield now, right here. Maybe they'll just run a big power play.
They've also got 2 tight ends in the game as well, and he goes to Kleinsaucer, lofted up, and Kleinsaucer makes the grab, but there's a penalty flag down as well. And that's going to be pass interference called against Detroit, so the touchdown will stand.
Defensive pass interference, number 58, penalty is declined, touchdown.
Well, you used the word earlier, trickeration.
Yeah, that's right. That's what the kids use.
That was a little trickeration on that play. Kleinsaucer put in really as a blocker. He's a tight end. They put him in at fullback. He's a big physical guy, so they put him in, make the Lions think that he's in there to be a lead blocker, and then Culpepper just lofts it up.
Gary Anderson puts the extra point through. And so Jim Kleinsaucer, who missed 2 games with a knee injury, comes back, makes his first touchdown catch of the season, and it's a 4-point contest.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. By CDW, the right technology right away. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection.
Back in Minneapolis, Vikings back in the game, Kurt, and really it's about Dante Culpepper. He's the guy that got him back there.
Well, so far he's had a good game. The interception that he did throw, not his fault, goes off of Alexander's hands and into the hands of Chris Claiborne. And Culpepper has led the Vikings back into this game, keeping everything calm. Detroit, though, still holding the lead at 14-10 and about to receive the football. Short kick, taken at the 15 by Desmond Howard. Well, that last drive, Dante Culpepper ran a couple of times and also spread the ball out to 4 other guys.
Well, that's what he did, and you said he ran it, and there you see him running on that play there, and then he did see Randy Moss single coverage. I think you got to go to Moss single coverage, but then you have to spread the ball around, and here is a pass to Derek Alexander, then the touchdown pass to Jim Kleinsaucer, and that was a really good job of Dante Culpepper seeing the whole field and making good decisions. These are fabulous numbers right here, and this number here, you said it very appropriately, Kurt, that wasn't even Culpepper's fault. That was a pass that was right in Derek Alexander's hands.
James Stewart spins his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Chris Hovan on the stop.
Don't you think that the way the Vikings have held in here, they were down 14-0 right off, is pretty impressive, especially considering what happened to them 2 weeks ago in Seattle Sunday night, and that game just came unraveled on them completely.
Which was their last football game.
Exactly.
Both these teams coming off the bye.
Yeah, you could see how, you know, the players for the Minnesota Vikings could think, here we go again, when they're down 14-0 to Detroit, but they've battled back admirably.
Lions going with the empty backfield. Harrington completes it out to Bill Schrader near the first down marker. We'll see where they spot that with Ronnie Bradford with the tackle.
One thing I think that the Vikings are going to have to get some pressure on Joey Harrington. Watch the protection that his offensive line gives him here. Now, he's only been sacked one time, and part of that, Kurt, is because he gets rid of the ball so quick. He makes a quick decision and he delivers the ball downfield. But I think another part of that is his offensive line has gotten back together. I think having Stocker McDougal back and Tony Semple back from their injuries, you know, has given them some continuity.
And it all fits together in the first two games with Mike McMahon as quarterback. And you see they're that far short of the first down. But McMahon was sacked 9 times, holds onto the ball a little bit more because he can make things happen as a runner.
Well, yeah, and part of that, too, though, was the offensive line. Their offensive line was shuffled around, and you know, you see Mike McMahon there, and even Marty Morningwig said to us yesterday, you know, this is a guy who in all likelihood could have a great career in the NFL. I believe that, too. It probably is not going to be in Detroit because this team belongs, and this town really belongs to Joey Harrington.
Well, you see the difference in the sack numbers. Week 3 is when Harrington came in as a starter, sacked once, then nothing in the last game, and not at all today. He's got a third and very short, just a couple of inches for the first down. Corey Schlesinger bottled up, second effort.
They stopped him.
I don't think he made it.
No, I don't think he made it. I think the Vikings, who we talked about being a kind of a light as far as defensive lines go, get a phenomenal surge here. Watch it right there, and really it's Fred Robbins on Raiola, the center. And look at Fred Robbins. Look at Raiola. He just gets buckled backwards, and then Fred Robbins just follows through with the tackle. Look at that right there. That's pretty impressive work by the Vikings nose guard.
Well, the Lions will give it another shot. 4th and inches. James Stewart tries to bounce it outside. I don't know if he got it.
No, the way they're marking it, Kurt, I don't think he did.
Kenny Mixon came in and got the tackle, and Mike Tyson, the Vikings are pumped up.
Well, Tyrone Carter came off the edge. Watch Lorenzo Bromell, though. He does a nice job there, splits the double team, drives Stewart deep. Carter takes a shot, and then Mixon does a beautiful job coming down along the line of scrimmage. There's Carter, and there's Mixon to make a tackle. See him get his head across? I mean, that is such a basic thing, but it's so key. But he got his head across on the tackle.
Well, the Viking defense gave up an 80-yard drive to start this game on 4 plays for the touchdown, and since then they have been strong, holding the Lions to absolutely nothing as Mike Tice finds more reason to celebrate.
Yeah, you see Mike Tice. I mean, he has had a rough beginning of this season. Look how pumped up he is here. You think he's ready to put some shoulder pads on.
Well, he played 14 years in the National Football League as a tight end.
And a good player, too. A real physical tight end. You know, I think the interesting thing about him, remember he said to us yesterday, you know what? I'm going to start making decisions on the sideline based on my gut. You know, they talked on the pregame show about coaches' decisions.
Culpepper going deep for Moss. Moss made the adjustment but couldn't make the catch.
Well, that was a bit of a forced pass because there's a lot of coverage around Randy Moss. Look at Cash. Look at this. They've got him boxed in. They've got their 2 starting cornerbacks covering Randy Moss. Double coverage. Todd Light's right there. There's Chris Cash. So Light can play over the top because he knows Cash is underneath. And that's a dangerous pass for Dante Culpepper to have thrown. I think you want to get the ball to Randy Moss. Forget the Randy ratio, but still get the ball to him. But you only want to do it when he's single covered.
Culpepper rolling out. Thrown too high for Alexander, who was wide open.
Well, that was a good decision by Culpepper, but not a good throw. Watch what they're doing to Randy Moss. First, you'll see Alexander is wide open here. You see that there? I mean, that's a show that he's. Well, look what they're doing. They're rolling a corner here so that they've got double coverage on Randy Moss. Right there. You see there's a safety over the top, a corner underneath, and that's going to leave a lot of other Vikings receivers open.
Well, Minnesota needs the 45 of Detroit for the first down. Culpepper flushed out again. Out to Chamberlain. And the big tight end is going to be 3 yards shy of the first down. Todd Light with the tackle. And so the Viking defense got the offense the ball back, but Minnesota's offense goes 3 and out.
You know, the good thing about that, though, Kurt, was for the Vikings, Culpepper is still spreading the ball around. You see him talking there to Randy Moss and maybe explaining, you know, why he didn't look for Moss. But what happened in the first 4 games was every time that he got into a critical situation, even when he wasn't, his eyes were going right to Randy Moss. He was telegraphing it. He was forcing the ball. And that's how he ended up with 8 interceptions coming into today's game. And so in a critical 3rd down situation, he didn't make the conversion, but he looked for another receiver, Byron Chamberlain.
Desmond Howard calls for the fair catch and makes it right at the 13-yard line. 34 yards on the punt, but is spotted inside the 20, so the Vikes are happy.
When you have a star player who's had turbulent times like Moss, you want to knock him around. And watch what Corey Harris does here on that play. And that's smart football, because you want Moss, you want to keep him disrupted. And if you get a chance to bang him around on the football field after a pass, you need to do it.
Well, Corey Schlesinger gets banged around by Patrick Chikora for a gain of no yards.
One thing the Vikings wanted to do coming into this game, Kurt, was they wanted to be able to stop the run. They were willing to put some pressure on their cornerbacks and expose Corey Chavis on the outside, give him some single coverage, and then use the safety that might help him to kind of slide over and get into that run game and make the game one-dimensional for Joey Harrington.
On 2nd down, Harrington to the air. Out of the backfield, Schlesinger. He's wrapped up immediately by Patrick Chikora. Well, you saw the graphic showing that the Lions haven't done a thing since that first drive. Part of it, though, credited to this Viking defense.
Well, Chikwora's made a couple pretty nice plays, Kurt. And when you're a backup linebacker or backup any player in this league, and you get out and you're starting and you get an opportunity and you make some big plays like this, you know, that could really be the turning point of your career.
And so it's a 3rd and long for the Vikings, or for the Lions, pardon me. They have to get the ball to the 23-yard line. Harrington gets it out. Greg Biekert made the dive, but it's incomplete. Well, Chris Hovan brought the pressure that forced him to get rid of that. Biekert just couldn't grab it.
Take a look at Hovan right here, and he gets a nice pass rush on Ray Brown and forces Harrington into not a very good throw.
And so John Jett on for a punt. 2nd consecutive 3 and out for this Lions team after they started this game so well. Nick Davis right at midfield. And the Vikings will take over in Lions territory. 39 on the punt, 4 yards on the return, but the ball's at the 46.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Vikings quarterback Dante Culpepper sticking to the game plan, spreading the ball around, making good decisions, Kurt, and he's doing it under a lot of pressure. This Detroit Lions front four on defense, which is really the strength of their defense, has put pressure on Culpepper, knocked him around, but he has still engineered a couple of nice drives.
Michael Bennett with the run on first down, picks up 3 yards. Travis Kersky with the tackle.
And as you said from the beginning, or you said it in the Fox Watch, the Vikings want Michael Bennett to carry the ball 25 to 30 times today. They want to get back, and part of that offensive balance isn't just Culpepper spreading the ball around in his passing game, but giving the running back the ball and let him get into a groove.
This Bennett's 9th carry of the game. Picks up 3 more yards on the run before Sean Rogers made the tackle. And Bennett's a kid who they want to see a lot more from as he goes out of the game right now, and Mo Williams comes in on 3rd down. But on 1st and 2nd down, they want this to be Michael Bennett's team as far as the running back
goes. Well, you saw Mike Tice talking to him, and the only knock on Bennett is his inexperience, and he doesn't have great vision yet. He doesn't read the defenses instinctively yet, but he has phenomenal speed. And I've seen some nice toughness from him too. He's got speed, but he also runs tough to the inside.
Well, the Lions take their first time out with 7:16 left to play here before halftime. Don't forget, you can catch Greta Van Susteren as she talks with Lynn Cheney about her life in Washington and her husband's role in the war on terror. That's on the next On the Record. It's news as a contact sport on the Fox News channel. Check your local listings for time in your area. Now, is her hand really that big to hold that football? I mean, Greta Van Susteren's a small woman.
She's got a good grip on that football.
It looks like it's not her first time holding it. Maybe she can go to the combine in Indianapolis one of these days.
I doubt it.
On a 3rd and short for Minnesota. They need 3 yards down to the 36-yard line for the first down. A little confusion as Michael Bennett wasn't sure where to line up. They get him lined up where they want him. Culpepper from the shotgun. Complete to Moss. Out to Los Angeles and JB for another game break.
All right, the Packers completed a 12-play, 76-yard drive with this Brett Favre 3-yard hookup with fullback William Henderson. 299 TDs for Brett Favre, 1 away from tying John Elway for 3rd all-time. 7-3 Green Bay. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Well, Green Bay's offense may have to do a lot with all the injuries they have on the defensive side of the football this year.
Right, I think it's
lost both defensive ends. Mike McKenzie not playing today.
I think it's as Pam Oliver said in the pregame show, if you have number 4, you can always win.
First down at the 29-yard line. Bennett spins his way out for a nice run of 5 yards.
Well, Kurt, right before the game break, we saw Randy Moss pick up that 3rd down conversion, and the reason is that Chris Cash, the rookie cornerback, has got a man-to-man. And I know that the game never gets bigger than Chris Cash. In other words, he always hangs in there mentally, but Randy Moss is bigger than Chris Cash. You know what I mean? And he's not going to be able to cover him man-to-man. And I think it's just a matter of Dante Culpepper continuing to spread the ball around the field, reading the defenses, and when he sees Randy Moss isolated like he is right now, you want to go to him.
They hand it off to Mo Williams. Williams down to the 23-yard line. Luther Ellis on the tackle.
Well, with that balance, Kurt, you make Randy Moss actually better. You see here, everyone else has gotten 10 passes, and they've completed 7 of them. And then Moss has actually had 4 thrown to him, and he's completed 3. So his percentage is a lot higher than it was in past games because they're spreading it around. They're forcing the defensive secondary not to just double cover Moss every play.
Minnesota needs the 18 for the first. They go to Randy Moss, who can't get there because of the nice open field tackle by Corey Harris. So it'll be a 4th down decision for Mike Tice and the Vikings.
Remember, we saw Corey Harris. He's back there looking for Randy Moss, looking for an opportunity to hit Randy Moss, and Moss is just going to drag across the center of the field here. And look at Harris. That's exactly what he's waiting for. He's back there. We saw him hit Moss on a play where Moss didn't even catch the ball. And he makes a nice tackle when Moss does catch it.
Vikings going forward on 4th and 2. 4 wide receivers in. Culpepper throws it up towards the end zone, out of bounds. Moss, the nearest receiver, but Jeff Gooch was the guy who flushed him out of the pocket and forced that incompletion on 4th down.
And you know, I think this is where Dante's thought process caught up with him. He doesn't want to. He wants to throw away the ball and then take the big play, but on 4th down, you might as well heave it up.
Coming up next, October's magical matchups continue at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific, with Game 5 of the ALCS between the Twins and the Angels. Then at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, Game 4 of the NLCS, Cardinals and Giants. It's a full weekend of magical matchups, NFL and Major League Baseball, only on Fox. James Stewart with a 1-yard gain on 1st down. We got a penalty flag as well. Larry Nemmers signals that this one's against the Lions. This will be the first penalty of the game against Detroit.
I think the Lions need to throw the ball back to Ricks, don't you?
Yeah.
Holding offense number 51. 10-yard penalty.
Well,
Still
Kurt,
1st down.
Bad news for the Lions on that play. Good news for Minnesota Twins fans in the matchup tonight. Joe Mays is pitching against Kevin Apier. Mays, with that 8 innings in the first game, he beat Apier.
And that's
only
the
one run.
The Twins have won so far, though.
And Apier is 0-3 in the postseason. So Twins looking to stay alive out in Anaheim.
Well, it's a must-win situation, do or die. Every cliche that goes with it. If they lose, their season is over. Backed up to the 10-yard line after the penalty on Rayola. Avion Cason all twisted up.
Wow.
Picked up maybe a yard on the play.
I'll tell you, the defensive line for the Vikings is they're running around and making plays.
Well, we've seen Kenny Mixon make a play down the field. Lance Johnstone this tackle. Hovan's been in the backfield.
And Fred Robbins too. Remember, Robbins made the big play, and there's Beekert in on the tackle. Lance Johnstone. Look at Robbins comes there. And, you know, George O'Leary is the defensive line coach for the Minnesota Vikings. He was my high school coach, my college coach for defensive line. There is George. And one thing about him, you know the D-line is going to run to the football if George is the coach.
Here comes the blitz. Harrington has time. Out to Bill Schrader. Schrader falls forward for the 1st down. 21 yards on the reception.
You really have to credit that play to the Lions offensive line, because the Vikings, as you said, they came with the blitz, and the offensive line, I mean, not only did it not break, it didn't even bend.
No, it wasn't even pressured at all.
Harrington had a beautiful pocket to sit back in there and just wait for Schrader to get into the open spot of the zone.
Lions with 2 timeouts. Just over 2.5 minutes to go here in the 1st half. Harrington gets it out to Corey Schlesinger, and Schlesinger going to be out near another 1st down. Corey Chavis tripped him up right at the 41-yard line. And they will call a timeout for a measurement to see whether or not he got the first indeed.
Well, one thing Joey Harrington does, we showed in the open about the nice touch he has on deep balls, you know, throwing deep passes, and we've seen him throw some nice deep passes to Michael Ricks, their tight end, which gave them their first touchdown. But he's got nice touch on his underneath passes. And people say about Joey Harrington, he has a very catchable ball. And a lot of times, again, Kurt, if you're a younger player, you tend to rifle those balls, those short passes.
Or if you're Brett Favre.
Or if you're Brett Favre and you want to break some fingers. But that's a problem that a lot of young passers have. They don't know enough to throw the touch on those short passes.
They got the first down off the play action. Harrington gets it out to Oz Hakeem, and Hakeem makes the grab for 13 yards and another Detroit first down. There's a flag down deep as well.
Defense, offside, number 91, lined up in the neutral zone. Penalty is declined. First down.
That's called on Lorenzo Bromell. And obviously the Lions will decline that. It's actually a gain of 15 where they spotted the football. So they'll have the ball at the 44-yard line of Minnesota, driving as we reach the 2-minute warning here in the first half. That was a half. The Lions came out and scored the first 14 points. Minnesota withstood that charge and scored the next 10, but Detroit is trying to add more.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Gateway, a better way.
We are 2 minutes away on the game clock from the Visa halftime report. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy Johnson will have the latest NFL scores and highlights. And of course, we'll have an ALCS Game 5 preview from Anaheim. Plus, the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second stats. It's all next on the Visa halftime report.
Hey, Kurt, you know what this is back here, that yellow seat?
Well, now, let me tell you. I grew up in Atlanta. I'm a Braves fan.
You'll
so
never forget that yellow seat.
I know what that
right?
is. Game 6 of the 91 World Series. Kirby Puckett off Charlie Liebrandt in the 11th inning to win the game, force a Game 7. Was maybe the greatest Game 7 that I have ever seen.
Even though your team lost to the Twins.
Yeah, 1-0 in extra innings. Can't beat it. Corey Schlesinger with the catch down to the 20-yard line.
We talk about poise and touch on a pass. Kurt, Joey Harrington gets hammered by the Vikings blitz on this play. Look at him. He knows he's going to take this hit. He takes the shot, and then look at that ball. He just lays it in there perfectly to Corey Schlesinger and makes it an easy catch.
A gain of 24 on the plate. Harrington 4 for 4 on this drive. He's hit 7 different receivers in this game. Off the play action. Towards the end zone. Oz Hakeem makes the catch. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. $20 yards on the touchdown pass.
Another extremely well-thrown ball by the Lions rookie quarterback. And we made the comparison to the Redskins rookie first-round pick Patrick Ramsey, Kurt, who's struggling in his effort today with the Redskins against the New Orleans Saints defense. But Joey Harrington is looking very good in his passing game against this Vikings defense.
Well, and remember, Harrington did look good against that same Saints defense in getting his first victory as a starter 2 weeks ago. So Jason Hanson on for the extra point. He gets it through, and the Lions extend the lead to 21-10. Joey Harrington 5 for 5 for 89 yards on the touchdown drive.
Azazir Hakeem is going to come right here and run the post route, and Joey Harrington is going to throw him a perfect pass. And he splits that coverage. Watch, he knows he's got offered right here to the inside, so there's a very small window in which Joey Harrington has to deliver that ball.
Well, the kid shows he's got touch, he's got precision, he's got everything you want out of the third pick in the draft. 12 of 15, 179 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first half.
You know, he was perfect on that drive, and he also has some pretty nice targets. When you think about Azazir Hakeem, I mean, he is a big playmaker, a nice target downfield. And then you've got Billy Schrader, who I know has struggled with some injuries, had a big game 2 weeks ago in their win against New Orleans, and Schrader can stretch the defense too. He has incredible speed.
And remember, Jermaine Crowell, their #1 receiver, is still out recovering from knee surgery.
Well, when he comes back, that's going to be a pretty formidable trio at the wide receiver position with Joey Harrington throwing the ball up.
Nick Davis brought down. Going to be stopped right at the 28-yard line by Chris Cash, a return of 25.
And Kurt, this is where Dante Culpepper really needs to be calm. And he's been calm all game long. I think he's done a very good job of keeping his composure, reading defenses, making good decisions. Again, the only interception he has really wasn't his fault. It was a very catchable ball to Derek Alexander that Alexander served up to Chris Claiborne, ended up Detroit touchdown. But he needs to be calm right here because this isn't a horrible position to be in, down by 11 points going into half.
And he's got 3 timeouts to work with, 1:05 on the clock from the shotgun. Calmly gets it out to Mo Williams.
Yeah, very well done.
Todd Light with the tackle, 9 yards on the play. So Williams got out of bounds to stop the clock, and you see on our instant score, Washington starting to come back against New Orleans. They were down 20-0 in that game. It's now 26-14. The Vikings trying to do the same thing after being in a 14-0 hole in this one. Steps up in the pocket and runs it, does Culpepper. Gets the first down and gets out of bounds to stop the clock. 9 yards on the run by Dante Culpepper.
9 yards of first down, and he only used 7 seconds off the clock. He read the field very well.
But he got a flag in the backfield behind his run.
Holding, offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
10-yard holding penalty
On the left guard, Corbin Lacina.
That makes the 5th penalty for Mike Tice's team.
And 4 of them on the offensive line. But don't forget, 2 minutes from now, roughly, in real time, 52 seconds on the game clock, because you kind of double the time up, right? Isn't that how you work it? 15-minute quarters, half hour in real time? Sure. It's the Visa halftime report coming your way. JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, plus a preview of Game 5 of the ALCS.
I don't know if Terry's going to get his date with Jillian at halftime, but it'll be interesting. I don't know if he stands much of a chance after that high school picture of him throwing a javelin.
I like the haircut, though. He's got the same do now, I think. Culpepper scrambling, going to be brought down by Corey Harris, and he gets up and calls the timeout.
Boy, that was a really ugly play.
Yeah, looks like some confusion going on.
Yeah, definitely a miscommunication. It looked like Culpepper read the blitz, and Corey Harris was coming free on him, and I think the receiver out to his left didn't read the blitz. Culpepper just pulled it down.
Well, 43 seconds to go here in the first half, and they've just put 2 seconds back on the clock, so it's now 45. And so much for my theory about the Visa halftime report being about 2 minutes away. Timeouts get you every time.
The timeouts
every time.
You know,
it'll be a 3rd and long situation for Culpepper. What do you do standing at your own 28?
Well, I think the thing that Mike Tice probably told him is, you don't have to get this first down. You don't have to score now. That's not as important as not having a turnover, because again, the undoing of the Vikings this season, Kurt, has been turnovers. Coming into this game, they're -10, the worst in the National Football League.
Culpepper from the shotgun, under pressure, brought down, throws it away to try and avoid the sack. Robert Porcher was right there hanging on him.
You have to credit the Detroit Lions secondary. They're not giving Dante Culpepper anywhere to throw, and if you give Porcher and company too much time, you know they're going to find you.
Well, now with 39 seconds left, the Lions will get the ball back one more time with 2 timeouts, as Kyle Richardson is back for the punt. They have both Desmond Howard and Azakim back. It'll be Howard at the 25. Gets as much as he can and then steps out of bounds to preserve the time. Flag down on the play as well. Well, they can preserve the time, but won't preserve the yards, as Detroit will get flagged for that one.
Holding by the receiving team during the kick. That penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the end of the kick.
So now with 30 seconds to go and 2 timeouts, the rookie Joey Harrington has been very good in the first half. 12 of 15, 179 yards and 2 touchdowns to give the Lions a 21-10 lead. Do you say to your rookie, go ahead, take a shot at adding more points, or do you just try and keep him where he is to avoid the mistake going into the locker room?
I think that the poise that he's shown, and he's shown that he makes good decisions and he's calm. I don't think you want to treat him like a rookie. I mean, Joey Harrington really isn't playing like a rookie. And so I don't think you want to treat him like a rookie. I think you want to treat him like a quarterback who's got a nice arm, who's got nice touch on a deep ball, and you want to let him try to go get some more points here with 30 seconds left.
Well, he'll start this drive at his own 15-yard line. 4 wide receivers in for Detroit. They hand it off to Avion Kason instead. Kason going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage. So the clock keeps working. The Lions appear to be in no hurry to get another snap before halftime, deciding to go instead with the 21-10 lead and make sure that the kid doesn't make a mistake. And so the Lions came out, scored the first 14 points of the ball game. Minnesota came back, but right now at halftime, it's the Lions on top, 21-10. Back with a Visa halftime report right after this.
The LA Times raves, good news, America. Bernie Mac is back.
Yeah!
And when he dives into driving carpool,
Sound like a good deal, right? Yeah, a deal with the devil.
he's in way over his head.
You'll get 1 courtesy beat. After that, you got 15 seconds.
Bernie Mac returns with all new episodes, followed by Cedric, Wednesday, October 30th on Fox.
The Visa Halftime Report is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Very impressive first half performance by young Joey Harrington has the Detroit Lions in front of the Minnesota Vikings 21-10. That score at the half as we move to New England.
Brett Favre, pride and joy, Kill, Mississippi. How you doing, Brett? Have a good day. Game up there, bud. Roll out to the right. He finds his man, Amon Green, touchdown. 8-yard score. That's right. Ties 300-yard career touchdown passes, tying Favre with the great John Elway. Packers on top. 2 touchdown passes by Favre.
How many more than you?
88 more than me, JB. Thanks for reminding the world. Mascot's ready for a little action. Fair day, fair weekend, Dallas. Rodney Pete back, fullback Brad Hoover, 26-yard score, 25-yard score. Panthers over the Cowboys at the half. And then you're looking at defensive tackle Keith Hamilton having to leave this football game, torn Achilles heel. And now Johnson rolling out, Doug Johnson of Atlanta. Pump fake, get the defensive back up in the air, touchdown run of 15 yards, 10-3. Falcons over the Giants at the half. Tendon, Achilles tendon. Thanks, Howie. And then my young man here, rookie quarterback Patrick Ramsey, back in the pocket, hits as he throws his football. There to pick it off, Sammy Knight takes it down to the 18, led to a field goal. 3 interceptions in the first half by Ramsey. Aaron Brooks back, finds tight end Boo Williams, 2-yard score, 2 receptions on the year for Boo Williams, both of them touchdowns. Now Brooks back again, this time to his favorite receiver, Joe Horn, 17-yarder. All Redskins in this first half.
And then the Redskins try to come back seconds ago. Take a look at Brooks throwing it, picked off by Ifeanyi Olete. A 75-yard return to pay dirt for the Redskins. Redskins trying to make it a game, and you know, I'm just a little excited about that, right, TB?
No.
No, not at all.
Homer, you are not.
Absolutely. Absolutely not. Ravens and Colts. Colts on top by the score of 10-6 in that contest there. Browns have beaten the Buccaneers 5 consecutive times, but the Buccaneers on top. Texans 3 points away for scoring 20 for the first time this year. And the Steelers with Tommy Maddox at the helm on top 24-0. And Jimmy's giving me the look.
It's Detroit. I'll let Jimmy take
okay.
Two players, Joey Harrington, 12 of 15. Doing a nice job, no picks. And then on defense, Chris Claiborne having a great year.
Absolutely.
I mean, Pro Bowl year up to this point.
Well, is Chris Claiborne's contract up?
But they moved him to middle linebacker, which is where they had moved him away from.
Plays.
That wasn't the question.
It is, but they moved him back to where he's comfortable.
Step down.
No. They moved him back to where he's comfortable, and that's why he's doing it. Preview look at the 5th game of the ALCS coming up after this. Howie says it makes no difference, huh?
Visa is proud to celebrate the fans this season. Visa, it's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
October's magical matchups unfold later today when Troy Gloss and the Angels battle the Minnesota Twins in a crucial Game 5 of the ALCS. Then it's Game 4 of the NLCS when Barry Bonds and the Giants host the St. Louis Cardinals. The Angels will be looking for their first ever trip to the World Series. Their big bats look like they're back in form. For a preview look at that contest, let's head down to Anaheim.
JB, thank you. A raucous crowd expected here in Anaheim today. It's Game 5 of this American League Championship Series, where the Anaheim Angels are a win away from their first ever trip to the World Series. Standing by with Mike Socia is Steve Lyons.
All right, Tommy, thank you very much. Mike, some great pitching performances in this series so far. Maybe the best turned in by Joe Mays in Game 1. How do you guys approach him today?
Well, Joe pitched an incredible game in Game 1. There's no doubt about it. I think our game plan is sound. We just have to, when we're getting pitches to hit, not miss him. We missed a couple. He didn't make many mistakes in Game 1, but he can't try to do too much with him. He's a tough pitcher.
Do you allow this team to at least think about the fact that if you win this one, you take the next step and continue to do the same things you've been doing in this series?
We're not focusing on winning or losing or anything. We're focusing on playing our game, and we're confident if we can bring our game onto the field, then that's going to give us the best chance to win. And we're confident, but there's no sense looking any further forward, or further ahead. Just look at today's game.
All right, Mike. Thanks. Good luck. Tommy, let's go back to you.
Steve, thank you. The starters, the same matchup from Game 1. Mays went 8 innings, allowed 1 unearned run. Kevin Appier went 5 solid innings, allowing 2 runs. We'll have it coming up later this afternoon. JB, let's send it back to you in Los Angeles.
Thank you very much. And the Visa halftime continues after this.
You're watching October's magical matchups on Fox.
Halftime here in Minnesota, where the Lions lead the Vikings 21-10. I'm Kurt Menefee along with Tim Green. And Tim, I don't know if there's a wing in Canton just ready for the kid just yet, but Joey Harrington seems to be getting better every time we take a look at it.
He really is, and we talked about it right from the beginning of this game that for a rookie quarterback in his 3rd start, his poise has been remarkable, and you can see the progress he's made in 3 short weeks. Week 3 against Green Bay, not great numbers. The 4 interceptions were brutal. Then 2 weeks ago against New Orleans, I mean, he was fantastic, leading the Lions to their first victory against a very good New Orleans defense. And today he's been spectacular. Look at that, 80%, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. Probably more important than that, though, no interceptions. Look at him here early, throwing these deep seam routes to Michael Ricks, his tight end, one for a big play, another one for a touchdown. And then you see his enthusiasm. Remember, Robert Porcher told us he loves to play the game. And then look at him here, throwing a beautiful deep strike to Azizir Hakim. Again, celebrating, smiling, slapping high fives. I mean, this kid is having a good time out there. He looks really good. And I got to tell you, the other thing is his offensive line has done a fantastic job because he has not had a lot of pressure from this Minnesota Vikings defense, and he's been able to just sit back there and really pick the Vikings secondary apart.
Well, the guy who's been in charge of putting this whole Harrington project together is the head coach, Marty Mornhinweg, and just before going into the locker room at halftime, he spoke with our Michael Goldberg.
Thanks a lot, Kurt. Marty started very well, Joey Harrington in the offense, then it was stifled, and then he responded late.
Yeah, we had a couple. Jeez, I went for it on 4th and 1. God dang it, and we didn't get it. We didn't get it on 3rd inch or 4th and 1, and our defense came to play because they stopped him and didn't give him a darn thing after that, so it saved my butt right there. and then we came back and had a nice little drive. Joey's playing pretty well. We just got to take care of the football and stay aggressive, and our defense, geez, they give up 10 points to an explosive offense.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
That's Marty Mornweg back upstairs, guys.
Wait, Kurt, you gotta love Marty Morningwig's candor. Isn't it great? I mean, that is really refreshing.
Well, you know what? I think sometimes he doesn't get the credit. Here's a guy, Jeff Garcia, Brett Favre, Steve Young. He worked with all. Yes, they had the tools, but he helped develop them into that elite quarterback, looking to do the same right now with his rookie, Joey Harrington. And the Lions will have first possession as we start the second half. Desmond Howard falls down at the 20-yard line. Well, taking a look at the first half stats, Tim.
Yeah, Kurt. If you look at it and if you think about it, I mean, this is an 11-point game, and the Vikings have been able to move the ball pretty well, almost as well as the Lions. The turnover really is the key, though. The Chris Claiborne touchdown, which gave the Lions their 21 points. But the only thing about the Lions really that they've not been able to do is run the football. They've not gotten a running game going. And against a better defense than this Minnesota's 30th ranked defense, Joey Harrington needs the luxury. He needs to have a run game.
Starting from just across the 20-yard line, he goes down for the sack. Lance Johnstone pulls him down. First sack of the day by the Vikings defense.
I think you see right away what defensive coordinator Willie Shaw is going to do. Here comes the blitz. The corner comes from the outside. The linebackers come on the inside. And that isolates Lance Johnstone and lets him come clean on Joey Harrington. That's the kind of pressure the Vikings have got to put on this young quarterback. They need to rattle him. They need to bang him around.
They lose 8 yards on the play, back to the 13-yard line. Harrington to the air, almost intercepted, right into the hands of Tyrone Carter.
Tyrone Carter played this beautifully. He had perfect position. He slips to the inside of Schrader. Watch him right here. He jumps to the inside. He does not let Schrader out physical him, doesn't let him out muscle him. And the only thing he's got to do now is make the catch. But Carter really is a safety. I mean, he's been a safety, and they made him a cornerback this season to replace Eric Kelly.
Yeah, his first 2 years in the league he's losing his name right now, but if he keeps making plays like that, he'll make a name for himself.
I like that, Kurt.
On 3rd and long, they need the 31 to keep the drive going. Flag down on the play as Avion Cason falls forward to the 21. That's going to be holding against Detroit. That's the signal from Larry Nemmers.
Holding, offense number 51. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's on the center, Dominic Raiola. Second time he's been flagged today.
Well, that was a really nice series, Kurt, for the Vikings defense to come out, to put some pressure on Joey Harrington, to bang him around, make a big play on 2nd down by Tyrone Carter. Almost an interception.
Well, it should be good field position as the Vikings almost blocked that one. Nick Davis backed up to his 30.
I think Antonio Wilson got through so clean, he forgot to hold his hands up to block it.
That was about all he missed as Davis returns that one out to the 41-yard line. 48 on the kick, 9 on the return.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Coors Light. It's up and it's good. Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. Rock on.
The Lions hold the ball for just over a minute to start the second half. Vikings take over at the 41-yard line. Dante Culpepper, first half, 12 of 18 passing, 102 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He goes right to Jim Kleinsaucer to start the second half, and Kleinsaucer falls forward for 10 yards.
Just to recap, Kurt, this is exactly what the Vikings planned on all week. Again, they threw out this Randy ratio where he's got to touch the ball, get the ball in his hands 40% of the time. They said, you know what, we got to get back to some football here. We got to get back to some balance. We've got to look for our open receivers. We've got to look for the receivers that are open underneath, and we've got to hand the ball off. We've got to get a run game going with Michael Bennett.
First down in Lions territory. Michael Bennett picks up 4 yards on the run. Bennett's 11th carry for 36 yards today as they try and get him going.
I think Dante Culpepper is going to be so much better with this kind of offensive approach, with looking for balance, you know, looking around the field, going to the open receiver rather than always looking for number 84. It's going to benefit him tremendously. Remember, this is not an insignificant quarterback. I mean, this is a guy who's been to the Pro Bowl, who's had, you know, a fantastic career.
Just 2 seasons ago, he was in Hawaii. And it gets that one out to Randy Moss, who makes the catch.
Yeah, and again, it's not forced. These guys are working together. There's no pyrotechnics on the sideline, Kurt. This is what today's been like. Very calm. You see Culpepper, Moss talking, and then they connect on the field. There's everyone's standing around, nice, calm, talking group, and then the ball goes to Moss. So, you know, there it is, more talking, calm, and then get it to Randy Moss. You know, Randy Moss, Mike Tice said it, and I'm sure it's absolutely true. He said he was humbled by not only the disturbances off the field, but by what happened last week, dropping touchdown passes in the end zone of the Seattle game.
Michael Bennett with a big run. A gain of 14 yards. And this Vikings offense has come out here making big plays of their own to start the second half.
But again, Kurt, it's balance. You know, because they came out and Culpepper showed that he was willing to throw a ball underneath the Kleinsaucer. And then, but at the same time, hey, look out, if you don't put 2 guys on Randy Moss, we're going to go to him and he's going to make a big play. And then, hey, don't forget, we've got a fast runner in Michael Bennett, so we can do it all. They just need to do it all.
First down at the 18. Movement on the left side of the line for the Vikings.
I tell you, their penalties by their offensive line today have been ridiculous.
Prior to the snap, false start offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty.
False start on number 87. That's on the tight end, Byron Chamberlain. 5th penalty on that front by Minnesota. 6th penalty overall. So it backs him up to the 23-yard line. We get whistles before they set here. It's the umpire Chad Brown talking with Larry Nemmers, our referee. Chad Brown, former NFL player. Culpepper on first down. Mo Williams out of the backfield, lowers his shoulder, stays in bounds, and fights his way down to the 14-yard line for a gain of 9.
You know, anytime the ball ends up in Mo Williams' hands, there's going to be pads cracking, you know?
He doesn't go down easy,
no,
does he?
He doesn't go down easy, and he is always game for a collision. And Barrett Green gave him one. Look at this here. He blasts through Todd Light. He's a cornerback. Now here comes Barrett Green. Barrett Green says, you're going to do that to my corner? Here, take a little of this.
Williams goes out. Michael Bennett in at tailback. Bennett. He's down inside the 10, so are flags on the play.
Right. I think Dante Culpepper drew the Lions defense off sides with his hard count. But it looks to me like they picked up more than 5 yards with the run.
Penalty decline. First down.
They decline the offside penalty against the Lions. It'll be a first down and goal to go.
Remember, Kurt, the last time the Vikings were down here in the red zone, they were on the 5-yard line. They ran the ball twice and then threw the touchdown to Kleinsaucer on 3rd down. See if they go to the run game on this or right to the air.
First and goal from the 7-yard line. Culpepper pulls it down, wide open into the end zone, untouched. Touchdown, Minnesota Vikings.
That is the danger of a quarterback who can run the football. Make it look like pass, but you've got a running back there at the quarterback position.
A 265-pound running back. Gary Anderson, extra point. Pulls them back to within 4. Culpepper and the Vikings take their first possession of the second half. Score a touchdown on it, and it's 21-17.
You see the play selection by the Minnesota Vikings, and we've been talking about their offensive balance all game long. 18 runs, 23 passes, and success both on the ground and in the air. Of course, a lot of success on that quarterback draw by Dante Culpepper to score their second touchdown.
Yeah, they're averaging about 5.5 yards passing and 5.5 rushing, so perfect balance. Doug Bryan kicks it off to Desmond Howard from the 1. With a block. Well, he's taking on the kicker one-on-one. And Howard gets out to the 41-yard line. A return of 40. Baseball in the hearts of fans here in Minneapolis. Right now, football's on their minds as the Vikings try and come back from being 14-0 down. They've closed the gap to 21-17.
Well, they have. Dante Culpepper has shown great balance in his offense. He's making good decisions. But, hey, on the other side of the ball, Joey Harrington has been making equally good decisions. He has had a fantastic day. A lot of accuracy in his throwing. He missed that one there. But I think that what the Vikings came out with in the first half, and we saw on the first series, was they put pressure on Harrington. And I think that if they're going to keep him down and they're going to get back into this game and get their first lead of the day, they're going to have to keep the pressure up on the young quarterback, because he's already shown that if you let him sit back there unmolested, he's going to pick you apart.
Which is exactly what happened in the first half when he completed 12 of 15 with no sacks. He's got a 2nd and 10 situation right now for Detroit. They hand it off. James Stewart with running room. Right at the midfield stripe. 9 yards on the run.
And that's really the best we've seen from the Lions' run game so far today, Kurt, because before this, really what it was a lot of very small yardage plays and some negative yardage plays. And, you know, Tyrone Carter, I got to tell you, I know that James Stewart picks up 9 yards, but Tyrone Carter makes a tackle in the open field. And that's one thing the Vikings did not do against Seattle. Their tackling was so bad that Mike Tice started to have them fit up in practice and get more physical in their practice during the bye week.
Harrington tries the quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1.
You know, think about it. Marty Morningwig talked about it at halftime. How bad the Lions were in those, you know, 4th and short, third and short conversions in the first half. So
God dang.
Yeah, right. It was great. Well, we'll see if they won that battle. No, I don't think so.
Well, you can see they needed to get the ball to the 49-yard line, and they're just short of it.
Well, you know what would be interesting is Marty Morningwig was mad at himself for going for it on 4th down in the first half.
Will he go for it here? Harrington still out on the field and going back into the huddle. And now I think they've got a problem with where the ball is spotted, which is what Harrington seems to be saying to
Well,
the
they could always challenge it, Kurt. I mean,
well, the play clock right now is what they need to be concerned with. It's down to 5 seconds. And they're forced to use a timeout.
This is a play that they could challenge and have reviewed on instant replay.
So while the Lions use their first timeout, we'll take one as well. 8:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37. By Sam Adams Light, shockingly great taste. By Snickers, don't let hunger happen to you. And by Volkswagen, on the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Lions going forward on 4th down and inches. The crowd has gotten loud here at the Metrodome as the Viking defense eggs them on.
They're not going to be able to change the play at the line, Kurt.
Play action. Harrington completes the pass out to Larry Foster. Larry Foster, the 8th different receiver he's hit today, but probably none as big as that one.
Talk
within
about
a possession.
Clutch.
Wow.
Clutch play.
16 yards.
Look at this. They go with the play action, and it's a bootleg. And Harrington, look at the composure. He's got Mixon in his face. He's got a zone that he has to throw into. Look at this. I mean, he doesn't have a big margin for error on that play at all. He's got a linebacker in the underneath zone. He's got a safety over the top.
Gutsy call on 4th and inches. James Stewart tripped up on 1st down by Ronnie Bradford. Pickup of 3 yards on the play.
I just think it was really interesting, Kurt, that Marty Morningwig was mad at himself for going for it on 4th down in the first half, not converting.
Was Marty setting us up?
I don't know, but then, you know, and then he goes for it now and runs a pass play.
Well, right now the Lions also missing their starting tight end Michael Ricks, who had 2 big catches on that first possession. He's got a bad left groin. And James Stewart takes it. He's going to fall right at the line of scrimmage. Kenny Mixon with a stop.
And the interesting thing about this Vikings defense is they're usually pretty good on 1st and 2nd down. And their problem really has been mostly on 3rd downs, Kurt, and with big plays. And that's really what we've seen today. I mean, the Lions have not been able to really establish the run and grind away, but given time, Joey Harrington has been able to connect with the big passes downfield against this Minnesota secondary.
Another big 3rd down. They have to get the 23-yard line for the 1st down.
Got to get heat out of Harrington.
Well, he's got time over the middle, through the hands, and almost intercepted by Willie Alford. Bill Schrader had it go through his mitts, and Alford came close to the pick.
Well, you better believe the Vikings secondary are going to spend some time on the jugs machine this week,
well,
right?
They've had a couple of chances.
Yeah, we saw Tyrone Carter drop a potential interception, and this is an easy one for Alford. Harrington has time here. He finds Schrader. It's thrown a little bit behind Schrader.
So Jason Hansen will come on for a 49-yard field goal attempt. That would put him alone in the Lions record book. His longest season, 38. And it's good. So Jason Hansen extends the lead to a touchdown with his 245th career field goal, breaking that tie with Eddie Murray atop the career list for the Lions. Well, the Detroit Lions own a 7-point lead here midway through the 3rd quarter at the Metrodome, 24-17. Kurt Menefee, Tim Ryan, or Tim Green. You know, it took me 2.5 quarters to do that. Tim Green here from the Metrodome. Nick Davis and Doug Chapman deep to receive the kickoff. Jason Hansen to Davis at the 2. What an open field tackle made by Larry Foster right at the 15-yard line. Down to the field, and the voice of the Minnesota Wild, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Goldberg. Mike.
Kurt, thank you very much. Lions update on tight end Michael Ricks, who had the opening touchdown for the Lions. He is back in the locker room. It is a left groin problem. Now, the training staff has taped it once. He returned for one play, came back. I watched him grimace on the sidelines. They have taken him back into the locker room. I'll keep an eye out for you. Back up to you, Kurt.
Michael told me if he were a hockey player, he'd just tape it up and go out there and play anyway.
There you go. Well, that's hockey. That's an easy sport.
First down from the 15. Culpepper. Chamberlain. First down, Minnesota, as Chamberlain falls forward to the 30-yard line. 14 yards on the play.
You know, no matter what the situation today, Dante Culpepper has done a really good job of keeping his composure. We keep saying it, but I keep being impressed with it. And you look at the two quarterbacks today.
Both doing a good job.
Both doing a good job. And again, this number here, you have to understand, really wasn't Culpepper's fault. And the thing about this you have to remember is this guy, this is his third NFL start.
And he's a rookie. So he hasn't even been around to watch and learn before this. Michael Bennett upended. Chris Cash with the stop after a short pickup of 3.
You know, I think, Kurt, on that play there, you got to see a little bit of Michael Bennett's kind of uncertainty with running the ball and what to do and how to run. He's got the physical skills. I mean, I think he should have just, if he kept going to the sideline, this guy has got speed. I mean, that's the one thing he has. And so he gets out there with Chris Cash, a rookie. I think he just wants to take it to the sideline where he had a blocker, and he might have still be running.
Former Big Ten track champion. Culpepper out to Moss. Right away, Moss makes the catch. 2 guys get around him, and Todd Light brings him down for the short pickup of 5 yards, which has kind of been the mode for Moss this year, short pickups.
Right, because what's happened is that most teams have come in and they've had 2 men on Moss almost all the time, or at least if they have 1 man on Moss, there's always a safety kind of lurking around to help to the inside or to help over the top. And so Moss's long catches have been very limited.
On 3rd down, they have to get it to the 40. Out to Moss, who can't make the one-handed catch as that pass thrown behind him by Culpepper. Oh, that's just a miscue by Dante Culpepper.
Yeah, I mean, Moss does the right thing. I mean, that ball is thrown high and behind him.
And that was an open receiver that could have kept this drive going. Instead, Kyle Richardson comes on the front to Desmond Howard. Backs Howard up inside his 10 at the 9-yard line. Howard with a return of 6 yards after the 51-yard punt. Keep in mind that coming up next, it's more of October's magical moments. Game 5 of the ALCS between the Minnesota Twins and the Anaheim Angels. Then at 7:30 tonight, 4:30 Pacific, it's Game 4 of the NLCS between the Cards and Giants. The Cardinals try to even that series at 2 games apiece. It's all part of a full weekend of magical matchups as critical NFL games and dramatic baseball playoff action take center stage only on Fox. And the Twins needing to win today, down 3-1 in this best-of-7 series against the Angels after winning the opening game.
Right, and Kurt, if the Angels win, it'll be their first ever World Series. But in 1986, the Angels led Boston. They were in the same situation. They led Boston 3-1, and they lost the series. So still hope out there for Minnesota Twins fans.
On that series, they were down to the final strike. Donnie Moore was on the mound, and I think it was Dave Henderson who hit the home run. They wound up winning Game 5, took Game 6 and Game 7. And we've got an injury to an official.
I think it was
right
Dave
now.
Henderson.
I'm looking right now, and you see the back judge walking off slowly, Kirk Dornan, and being looked at by Chuck Varda, the trainer for the Minnesota Vikings. May have gotten injured on that kick return. course, Kirk Dornan was a referee for many years in the National Football League. Decided to go to the back judge position again this year. Well, if it was an injury, I'm not quite sure how that took care of it, but we'll see.
I don't know. I think maybe they just were going to tape it up.
Yeah. You know, the rule is you have to sit out of play if you stop the clock.
Yeah, well,
does it work for officials too?
Maybe in hockey they might let the officials sit out of play.
You've got to think about that hockey thing, don't you?
You started it.
Michael Goldberg, we're blaming it on him. First down from the 24. Corey Schlesinger. 4-yard gain. Antonio Wilson with the stop.
Again, good pressure by Kenny Mixon on Joey Harrington, and that's important. That's what they need to continue to do, because think about it, Kurt. The only time Harrington really has been stopped today in his passing game was when he's gotten some heat on it.
Well, you know, you're all upset about this hockey thing. Michael Ricks did go into the locker room, back out on the field. Shows you football players are just as tough.
They're just as tough as hockey. Thank you. I don't know if Goldberg would concede that, but
Lions going with the empty backfield. Over the middle, there he is, Michael Ricks, right out near the first down marker.
Another well-thrown ball by Joey Harrington. His accuracy is impressive. The touch that he puts on the ball is impressive. But I think the thing that really makes him special as a quarterback, and the thing that's going to give him a very long, very successful career, is the touch he has on the deep pass.
No question.
You know what I'm saying? Even more so 2 weeks ago against the Saints, dropping those balls in there to Schrader and Hakeem.
James Stewart bounces it outside on first down. Plenty of running room into Minnesota territory before being hauled down at the 38-yard line by Ronnie Bradford. But that's only after he picked up 27.
Well, one thing the Vikings do, and Tyrone Carter tries to do it on this play, they try to force here with their corners. And look what Schlesinger does. I mean, he just engulfs Tyrone Carter. It's just too much for Carter physically. So he smashes him at the line of scrimmage, stifles him, and that gives James Stewart the corner.
Wow, the Lions had 29 yards rushing before that 27-yard run.
You know what it is? Again, it's another big play against this Minnesota Vikings defense.
They come on the blitz. Harrington. Bad pass intended for Bill Schrader.
It's interesting, isn't it, that you've come to expect only precision passing from Joey Harrington.
It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, the truth of the matter is the way that Schrader was pointing there, you almost think that might have been Schrader's fault.
So are you saying that maybe the rookie still is?
Well, you know, I'll tell you what, I liked yesterday, Kurt, his football lineage. You know, I asked him how'd you end up as a quarterback. He said, well, that's just what we do in my family. My dad, my uncle, my other uncle, my cousin, my brother,
Stewart bounces it outside, penalty marker down, as Stewart gets into the secondary. We'll see what this flag is about. Looks like it may be coming back.
Well, whether it comes back or doesn't, Kurt, the Lions have found the spot that they want to run against this Vikings defense, and it's to the outside.
That's holding on Detroit. Third penalty of the day against the Lions, and all three have been holding.
Holding offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And that's on Stalker McDougal, the right tackle.
There he is right here, McDougal. And he wraps his hands right around Chikora.
Little love hug.
Yeah, a little bit. And Detroit with a couple penalties, but half of what Minnesota has had.
Well, this is going to turn out to be a penalty really of about 32 yards when you take away the run and the penalty yards. Backs him up to the 47-yard line. Harrington trying to get part of it back. Avion Cason doesn't hold it in.
Boy, Detroit Lions offensive line just continues to give Harrington plenty of time back there. These guys are really doing a good job blocking.
You see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just scored on our instant scoreboard to take a 17-0
Wow,
lead.
Pittsburgh's going to finally get one. Huh?
Wow, but Cincinnati finally scored.
Yeah, wow.
It's 31-7.
Cause for celebration in Cincinnati.
Small victories. Lions with a 3rd and long today. They're 0 for 3 in this situation. Harrington going deep. Double covered is Bill Schrader, and it falls incomplete.
Well, this was well played by the Vikings secondary. You're going to see Schrader. He breaks right to the center of the field right here on this post. And Ronnie Bradford just positions himself perfectly. Nice play by Bradford.
John Jett with the punt. A short one. But it takes a Lions bounce. Down inside the 5-yard line. They'll spot it right. Actually, it's going to be spotted at the 6-yard line. Jimmy Wyrick downed it there. The Lions will take it 42 yards and inside the 10. So with less than a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter, Randy Moss and the Vikings take over. Ball will be spotted at the 6-yard line. Moss so far today 6 catches, 45 yards. Quick pass out to Randy Moss. And once again, another short gain as Moss picks up only 3 yards on that pass play.
Of course, the controversy which has always followed Randy Moss continued to follow him in the last couple of weeks here, Kurt. I spoke with Greg Aiello from the NFL this week and asked what would happen. What's the scenario under which Randy Moss could be suspended? And he said only if he violates the drug and alcohol policy. So he would have to be convicted of the possession of marijuana charge he was arrested for.
Gets the penalty flag. Ball thrown in the direction of Derek Alexander, who is being covered by the rookie Andre Goodman, and he'll get pass interference.
Andre Goodman,
defensive pass interference, number 35.
right here.
Automatic.
Is a guy with
down.
worlds of physical talent. But remember how we talked about Chris Cash, the other rookie cornerback, and said the game never gets bigger than him? Well, Goodman probably has more physical skills, but he doesn't have quite the composure that Chris Cash has. But the Lions feel like they've got a tremendous upside with Goodman.
And the whistles blow before that ball is snapped. It'll be a false start against the Lions.
Prior to the snap, false start offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And so Byron Chamberlain gets called for it.
That's his second, Kurt.
Yeah, he had one earlier in this ball game, and right now the Vikings beginning to rack up the penalties. That's their 7th one today. Suddenly we've got more whistles than a construction site. Jeez. It's a Bradshaw line. The officials trying to
Please put the game clock at 28 seconds.
make sure that Minnesota gets all its time here in the 3rd quarter. Put a second back on the clock. So now the ball's on the 21-yard line, 1st and 15.
And one thing we haven't seen lately that really worked well in the first half for the Lions was rolling Dante Culpepper out.
They fake the handoff. He rolls out. Gets it out to Dwayne Bates. And Bates, good enough for a 5-yard pickup, forced out of bounds by Chris Cash.
Nice job.
Well, you saw a little bit of the roll on that play there, even out of the shotgun. And here are the reasons why you want to roll Dante out. You want to avoid the rush from that front four of the Detroit Lions defense. You want to open up running lanes for him. And then, Kurt, he only has to read half the field. So you only have to read the coverage on the half of the field that you're rolling out to.
2nd and 10. Off the play action, he rolls to his left, being chased. Randy Moss gets the first down. 11 yards on the pass play. Final play of the 3rd quarter. It's a good one. 7 points separates these two teams. 15 minutes to play. Lions led it 14-0. Vikings scored the next 10, and it's been seesaw since then. Now 24-17 as we get ready to start the 4th quarter. Kirk Menefee along with Tim Green, and this has been a pretty good ball game despite the fact these two teams are 1-7 combined.
Well, it has. I mean, and even though they're 1-7, they've both been in some close games. They've both been in games they can win. And you know, here we are in the 4th quarter, 1 touchdown between these two. One thing we should note is that yet another penalty on the Vikings offense has set them back, so they do not have the first down that we thought we had going into the last commercial.
Well, they had an 11-yard gain, and it was called back because Corbin Lucina was an ineligible man downfield. But you know, that doesn't negate the good quarterback play we have seen from Dante Culpepper. Likewise for the quarterback for the Lions today, Joey Harrington. Culpepper now, though, faced with a 2nd and 15. Little screen pass out to Michael Bennett.
Oh, nice play by Corey Harris.
And he tripped him up, and Bennett was this close to breaking it away.
Boy, Corey Harris was out there in a hand fight with David Dixon, giving up at least 100 pounds, probably more. Watch Harris here. He's 25. You can see him here. And look at him out here with Dixon. Look at that. And they're just going back and forth, battling, pushing. He worked through it and just gets the ankles of Michael Bennett. And if he doesn't make this play, Kurt, Bennett had a lot of running room. Well, we've seen Corey Harris all over the field today.
Yeah, he really has been an 11-year veteran on that Super Bowl defense with the Baltimore Ravens a couple of years ago.
Got those Mike Singletary eyes.
Culpepper on 3rd down. Alexander can't haul it in.
Well, Derek Alexander started this game out having a ball put right in his hands. He served it up to Chris Claiborne. Claiborne ran it in for a touchdown. And then he redeemed himself, Kurt, made some nice catches after that. But now here in a critical 3rd down, drops a very catchable ball.
Brings up a 4th down, and Kyle Richardson on the punt. Desmond Howard back deep. He'll take the ball right at the 23-yard line. Penalty flag on the play as well, as Howard is brought down after just a 4-yard return. That's going to be holding against Detroit.
It's a 50.
Holding on the receiving team, number 26. That penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the end of the kick.
Eric Davis called for the penalty. Lions still take over early on in the 4th quarter, up by 7.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by I Spy, in theaters everywhere November 1st. By new Campbell's Chunky Roasted Favorites, hearty soups that fill you up right. By Sprint, introducing PCS Vision, clearly a whole new way to look at wireless. And by Burger King, say hello to the new 99-cent BK Value Menu.
Our crew hard at work. You see they even left the door open as they hopped out to take that shot in downtown Minneapolis. Lions start at the 13-yard line. James Stewart brought down from behind. Lorenzo Bromell in on the tackle.
I know Stewart was unsuccessful on that run, Kurt, and that looks more like what happened in the first half to the Lions running game, because in the first half James Stewart was held to 2-3 a carry, but here in the second half we've seen a couple big runs that have moved that average up to 9.5 yards, and those runs came to the outside. They were able to pin the contain of the Vikings defensive ends or secondary to the outside and give Stewart the corner.
All kinds of shifting as the Lions go with the empty backfield. Harrington rifles one to Oz Hakeem, and Hakeem going to be brought down after a 9-yard pickup. Greg Biekert on the tackle.
You know, that was a pretty good tackle by Biekert considering this. I mean, Oz Hakeem, he's the big playmaker for the Detroit Lions.
Speed guy.
And he's known, yeah, not so much, you know, flat out speed, but shiftiness after the catch. And he's got great running ability after the catch. And so Biekert, the middle linebacker, he's got him covered across the middle of the zone. And he just uses that big left hand and grabs hold of Hakeem's shirt and drags him down.
Detroit with a 3rd and 1.
Boy, the Vikings have been excellent in these short yardage situations, except for on the pass, right?
And they go to the air, complete it, and get the first down. That's exactly what they were looking to as they get it out to Oz Hakeem.
Remember, before their last field goal, they went with a similar play action pass and threw the ball on 4th and short. This time it's 3rd and short, and it's the same thing. And that's a great, you know, first of all, that's a sign of this is a West Coast offense, which it is, and sometimes you forget about that. The other thing is it's a sign of the great confidence that Marty Morningwig has in his rookie quarterback.
On first down, Avion Quezon with running room. Out to the midfield stripe. 25 yards on the reception. We send it out to Los Angeles and JB for another game break.
Hey, Kurt and Tim. Brett Favre now in solo position in 3rd place career all-time with touchdown tosses. Here, 301. That one to Bubba Franks. Green Bay on top, 21-3. Doug Johnson playing well in place of the injured Mike Vick. Drilling that one to Brian Finneran of Villanova. Atlanta on top, 17-10 late in the 4th. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Boy, JB, how can you go wrong? You got a Villanova guy, Howie's old team.
Well, I think those of us
for the Atlanta Falcons, my old team.
Well, but those of us who have been in NFL Europe prefer to say he's from the Barcelona Dragons.
There you go.
James Stewart, 5-yard pickup on the play.
Well, Kurt, let's take a look at the play before. And you get to see Avion Quezon. This is just a little check down pass. He wants to throw here, but he makes, again, good decisions. Coverage downfield, checks down to Avion Quezon, and the operative word with Quezon is speed. He catches it, and then he turns it on.
Well, he's a speed guy who's missed the last couple of weeks. James Stewart now back in there, fights his way back to the line of scrimmage. Kenny Mixon in on the tackle.
Let's go, James!
Well, really, besides those couple plays by James Stewart, the Vikings have really shut down the Lions' run game.
They really have.
Which really just makes Joey Harrington's numbers all that much more impressive, Kurt. Because again, you know, if you're any quarterback, you want to have a run game. You want to be able to run play action pass. You want to be able to stay out of known passing situations where they can bring the blitz on you.
Well, now it's a 3rd down and 6 yards to go. They have to cross the 40-yard line for the first down. Under pressure. And that's John Owens. Owens fighting. Getting down near that first down marker. Let's see where they spot the ball.
What an effort.
Willie Offord grabbed him but couldn't tackle him.
I don't think he made it, but what a fantastic effort. Again, here comes the Vikings. Here's that blitz. They need to put that pressure on Harrington. They do. He goes to the short pass. And look at Offord just taking a ride downfield. He's lucky that Kenny Mixon is running to the ball, because Kenny Mixon, watch him right there, he stops this from being a first down. If Mixon the defensive end isn't hustling downfield and running to the football, the Lions just keep going on that drive.
John Jett comes on to punt. It's a high kick. Fair catch called for by Nick Davis at the 10-yard line. .8:49 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Detroit hanging on to a 24-17 lead over the Minnesota Vikings.
You know, Kurt, one thing this Lions defense has done, they've really limited the Vikings from coming up with a big play.
They've had one play over 20 yards today. That a 22-yard run by the quarterback, Dante Culpepper. He goes to the air on first down, gets it out to Jim Kleinsaucer. Kleinsaucer picks up 10. You talk about that one play over 20 yards compared to what the Lions have done. They've got 7 plays over 20 yards today.
That's right. You know, a lot of the reason, Kurt, is this right here. Here's Randy Moss here, and here's the cornerback, and here's the safety. So when Moss goes deep, that's your classic big play by the Vikings. You've got the corner under and the safety over the top. And that's why Randy Moss's yards per catch are down so much. That's why he's not averaging big plays, because defenses are taking it away by putting a safety over the top.
Well, the Lions defense watching one of their players get hurt right now. Clint Krewalt, the linebacker, down with an injured left ankle. And keep in mind the reason he's starting is because of a broken leg by Brian Williams.
This is big. This has never been done before flavor. Introducing new KFC Honey Cajun Wings with a kick of Cajun spices and a touch of honey. Right now, get 8 for only $2.99 or 20 for $7.49. Or get Honey Barbecue Wings for the same price. Hurry! New Honey Cajun Wings and Honey Barbecue Wings from KFC.
Well, they're still down on the field taking a look at Clint Krewalt, and the way they're looking, that may not be an ankle. You hope that's not an Achilles injury, which we saw earlier that Keith Hamilton of the Giants went out, because when you get that, that's a season ender. He's getting up and trying to limp off under his own power. And as we said, Brian Williams was the starter at that strong side linebacker spot, broke his leg, and so Krewalt has started the last 2 games, and now he limps off. First and 10 from the 20-yard line. Culpepper. Kleinsaucer. Another Viking first down. Give him 13.
What Dante Culpepper is doing is he's threatening this Lions secondary. He's forcing them to refocus and to start thinking about these underneath passes. And once they do, then you want to take advantage. You want to hit Derek Alexander or Randy Moss deep. They've not had that deep pass available to them.
From the 33. Moss tiptoes on the sidelines. Good for 8.
And what Randy Moss had was single coverage. Todd Light, it's 3 deep. He knows he's got to stay deep. So when Moss comes back, he's got plenty of time and space to make this catch.
But once again, a short pass to Moss. He's got 8 catches, 58 yards. That's, well, only 7.5 yards a catch.
Well, if Todd Light has Moss by himself, you better believe that Light is just going to get way back and not give up that deep pass.
Michael Bennett fights his way for the first down. We talked about Moss's numbers, 7.5 yards a catch today. This season, about 8.5, which is half of what his career average is. His career, 17.5 yards through the first 4 seasons.
Well, Kurt, when they came out publicly and said, you know, the Randy ratio is going to get the ball in his hands 40% of the plays, every defense just said, okay, then we'll just take that away. We'll just put 2 guys on him. And if you're going to get the ball in his hands, you're not going to get big plays out of it. We're willing to commit a safety over the top so the cornerback can play underneath. So we were always safe on not giving up the big play.
On first down, Culpepper. Rolling to his right. Gets it out to Chamberlain, who's out near that first down spot once again. Well, there you see the final. Atlanta goes in and beats the Giants in New York. New Orleans all over the Redskins early on in the fourth quarter.
A run. Dante Culpepper again gets outside the pocket, throws on the run, not forcing the ball down, not looking for 84, looking for other receivers, looking for the safest throw, the best throw. And when you're scrambling to the sideline, the best throw, Kurt, is that receiver who's right there on that sideline. You don't want to try to throw back across your body to the middle of the field. That's how you get interceptions.
And so far today, Culpepper has just the one, and as we've said time and time again, that wasn't his fault.
Right, and think about it. Coming into today, Culpepper had 8 interceptions, 4 fumbles, so he had 12 turnovers on his own in the first 4 games. 3 a game. Today he had 1, but as you said, that not his fault at all. So he has been making good decisions. He has been protecting the football. And that's why Minnesota is still in this football game.
Oh, you see, they still need that much to go for the first down, just a couple of inches.
One trend the Vikings have not reversed is the big plays on defense. Joey Harrington and that passing game has just taken advantage of the Vikings' 30th ranked defense, and they've gone up top. I mean, you look, Ricks had a pass 41 yards, Hakeem had a long of 20, Schlesinger had one of 24, Kason one of 26, so they're getting the big plays in the air.
Second and short for the Vikings. Culpepper fakes the quick pass out, decides to run it, and just got back to the line of scrimmage.
And he's hot. He looks like Dante Culpepper is mad at Derek Alexander.
But he fell forward enough for the first down.
Yeah.
He only needed a couple of inches, and that's about all Culpepper got.
I don't know if he thought he could have the touchdown there. You know what I'm saying? If he was looking for the hitch and go, you know, the pump and go.
Would that be a hot read?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it would. Well, I don't know, because the hot read would come off of a blitz, you know. I don't know if he saw a blitz or not.
Well, that's a screenplay. Michael Bennett using his speed into the open field. Bennett gone for the touchdown. Yards on the catch and run by Michael Bennett.
This time, David Dixon, the Vikings right guard, who was unable to block Corey Harris on the last screenplay, gets the block this time on Chris Claiborne, and that's what sprung Bennett to the end zone. That and Bennett's speed. That was pretty impressive.
We mentioned he's a former Big Ten sprint champion. Gary Anderson gets the extra point, and we're all tied at 24. First pass play of the day by the Vikings, over 20 yards. They double it and even the ball game.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford. No boundaries.
Oh, they're playing Welcome to the Jungle here in the Metrodome, and right now this crowd doing its best to make it seem like one for the Lions, who jumped out to a 14-0 lead 5.5 minutes into the game. With 5.5 left, we're all tied at 24. Desmond Howard. They're all pumped up in purple, but the Lions have the ball. 5:19 to play.
Vikings, David Dixon with the big block. Look at him right there, the block on Chris Claiborne. And then it's Michael Bennett's speed that's just outstanding on this play. You're going to see the screen develop. Now Bennett has the ball, and if you stop right there, you look at defenders here, 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 and here. but his speed just takes him through all of them. So the angles they take do not account for Bennett's exceptional speed.
Harrington going deep on the first play, overthrows Oz Hakeem.
Corey Chavis had great coverage.
We throw it out to Los Angeles and JB for game break.
Hey, Kurt, speaking of throwing, Quincy Carter of Dallas had just 77 passing yards prior to this play here, scrambling for his life, uncorks it. It's actually tipped, deflected by Deion Grant right into the hands of Joey Galloway. 80 yards to pay dirt. 13-7 Carolina, under 4 in regulation. Back to Kurt and Tim.
Did you know coming into this game, Tim, that Carter was the first Cowboys quarterback to have 4 straight 200-yard games since '93?
Wow, I did not.
James Stewart can't get anywhere. Corey Chavis.
That's 2 in a row by Chavis. He's got the moves to prove it. Chavis had the coverage on Azir Hakeem on the first play, stays over the top. Now the Lions go back to this outside run, which is where they've had success today. But Chavis is having none of it. He comes up, makes the tackle, and then throws the boogie down on the field.
What was that call? 3rd and 12.
He is an animated character, isn't he? Well, Harrington has been cool under pressure all game long.
They have to get it to the 29. Batted in the air, incomplete. And the Vikings offense gets ready to get back on the field.
Yeah, Chris Hovan has got a boogie of his own because he's the guy that bats this pass down.
Nick Davis back to take the punt from John Jett. Jett, end over end at the 40. Davis into Lion territory, brought down at the 48-yard line.
Boy, momentum shifting, Kurt. 2 big plays by Chavis. Now watch Hovan here. He's on Raiola, the center. He blows up through Raiola and the guard of the double team, and that is another big play. And then over on the sideline, Culpepper and Moss excited. They know this is their time.
They've got another shot.
Yeah, and then, you know, Culpepper has been calm all day. You know, so is Randy Moss.
Starting at the 48-yard line of Detroit. Culpepper. Underneath to the tight end, Byron Chamberlain, and Chamberlain picks up 16 yards. Chris Cash on the tackle.
Boy, Kurt, this is a perfect example of Dante Culpepper's shift in decision-making. Here's Moss. He's got light. Look at him hold his hand up. I'm going to take this guy deep, Dante. But Dante reads the field, and he sees Chamberlain open on the inside on the option route, and he delivers the safe pass instead of going for it all downfield.
Oh, this
Great decision making.
Spreading it around really pays off.
Yeah, and it has for the Vikings today.
First down at the 32. Michael Bennett. Bennett picks up 5 yards on the run before Andre Goodman stopped him.
I think Culpepper has effectively softened up this Detroit defense with that passing game.
Oh, look at the game by Bennett. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's impressive. And most impressive was that touchdown run when he just caught the screen pass and just took off with that speed.
45 yards on the run.
Well, you know, if you're mixing the ball around and you've got the defense guessing it, you're going to go to Moss or you're going to pass underneath, then that opens up the run game.
Culpepper under pressure, gets away from that, does it again. He just throws the ball away. Incomplete. Wise play by Culpepper.
Yep, that was smart. And again, you know, he's outside the pocket. If he throws the ball at or near the line of scrimmage, he's allowed to throw it away under the rules. So Culpepper really doing a lot of thinking out there.
Well, why not? I mean, the rules say you can just throw it away. He had no one open, had nowhere to run, does the right thing. So now it's a 3rd and 5 situation.
Good pressure again on Culpepper, Kurt, by the Detroit front four, forcing Culpepper into that scramble.
On 3rd and 5, Culpepper calls the timeout. Ball's at the 27-yard line. Obviously, they need the 22 to convert the first down. Well, 2:40 left to go on the game clock here in Minnesota. We got a tie game, and keep in mind that just as soon as we are done, we'll take you to Game 5 of the ALCS as the Minnesota Twins look to stay alive in their playoff series against the Anaheim Angels. Twins won Game 1 here at the Metrodome, but since then it's been all Anaheim, despite the fact that we've seen good pitching from both those teams. Also, the Cardinals and Giants coming up 7:30 tonight Eastern time here on Fox.
And it looks, Kurt, like it's going to be the Angels Apier against the Twins Joe Mays, and that was the pitching lineup we saw in Game 1, the only game that the Twins have won so far. So that would bode well, I think, for the Minnesota Twins.
Well, they're looking for something right now. They've got to do something before they get to that Anaheim bullpen, and the kid Rodriguez has just been absolutely unbelievable in coming out of the pen in the series against the Yankees and now in the series against Minnesota.
Right, I mean, the Twins have only scored 7 runs in their 4 games against Anaheim.
None against the bullpen. On 3rd down, Vikings need the 22-yard line. Culpepper has the time. Can't find a receiver and throws it towards the end zone for Randy Moss, and he makes the catch at the 2-yard line. "25 yards on the reception. It's 1st and goal."
You know, Randy Moss all game long has been a decoy. He's not gotten frustrated, and he's worked hard. And on this play here, look at him. He never, ever stops trying to get open. And Culpepper scrambles and scrambles. He buys him time with himself time with great athleticism. And Moss makes this big catch. It's a big play, but really, Kurt, this came because Moss just kept working hard. Mike Tice told us, he said, Randy Moss was humbled by what happened to him against the Seattle Seahawks, dropping passes in the end zone, not doing anything well. And he said, for Randy Moss, he's as humble as I've ever seen him in his last 2 weeks of practice, more focused.
Well, he said he felt something different about Moss this season, and even though this is the first year that Mike Tice has been a head coach, he's been around Randy Moss his entire 5 years here as an assistant under Denny Green, so he knows Moss very well.
And look at Culpepper here and the great mobility and the great decision making. You know, you can tell that he's in a rhythm here. He's found his groove. He buys himself time. He sees the field and throws this pass to Randy Moss right down near the goal line.
No panic whatsoever in the body language from Culpepper nor Moss. So they get the ball down to the 2-yard line. 2:14 left to go. Vikings started the game down 14-0. Now looking to take the lead for the first time.
Last time in this situation, Kurt, it was all Culpepper with the quarterback draw.
They've got 3 wide receivers in now. Mo Williams leaning forward. Touchdown, Minnesota Vikings.
Well, Corbin Lacine has had a couple penalties today, but on that play there, he may have made up for them because he runs over James Hall. He steamrolls, pancakes, whatever you want to call it, James Hall right in the middle of that Lions defense and makes it easy for Mo Williams.
And the Vikings have come all the way back from a 14-0 hole 5.5 minutes into the game. And with 2:12 left to play in regulation, they lead the Detroit Lions 31-24.
Kurt, it's a simple dive. Watch Lacine. Look at him blocking Hall right there. Just buries him, puts him on his back in the end zone. James Hall, who had such a big day 2 weeks ago against the New Orleans Saints. Scored a touchdown in that game. But he was on the receiving end of that one.
Mo Williams with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. I was talking to the running backs coach Dean Dalton right before the start of the game, and he says our biggest pickup was bringing Mo Williams back. He'd been here his entire career, left to go to the Ravens last year. They brought him back as a free agent, but he says he provides stability from a veteran standpoint to a very young running back core, and that he has made the difference on offense for this team this year.
Well, I'll tell you, Kurt, diversity in this offense has been the difference. The Randy ratio has been out, and you know, even Moss is smiling because, look, it's a lot more fun to win. I mean, yeah, you want to have yourself be the center of attention, but better things can happen for everyone around when you have that balance on offense, and that's what we've seen. I mean, they've run the ball well, they've distributed the ball nicely in the passing game, and that's how you win football games.
Oh, the Randy ratio, just in case you're concerned, 11 of Culpepper's 36 passes have been thrown his way, so less than 33%. But they own the lead right now. However, Desmond Howard and the Lions still have another shot with over 2 minutes left to play, and Howard gives them good starting field position out to the 31-yard line. And so, the kid, Joey Harrington, 21 of 32 passing so far today, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, will take the field to try and lead a late-minute drive to tie this game up again.
This is not a bad situation for Joey Harrington. The field position is pretty good, right? They're on their own 31.
Right.
He's got plenty of time. He's got a full 2 minutes. He's got a little time. He's got time for a play before the 2-minute warning.
He's got 1 timeout plus the clock will stop at 2 minutes.
And Kurt, he's got some young players out in that Vikings secondary. He's got some rookies out there trying to cover a pretty doggone good receiving core with Schrader, Hakeem, and Foster.
All 3 are in here on first down. Harrington over the middle. Gets the flag. Corey Chavis, who's the veteran back there, is called for the pass interference against Scotty Anderson.
Well, Chavis came up with a couple of big plays in a row on the last offensive series for the Lions. We'll take a look at this right now. Anderson comes across the middle.
That hand on the right hip.
Yep, the hand on the hip, and that could have gone either way, Kurt.
Well, they allow you to put the hand on the hip.
You can put your hand on it.
But if you turn that body.
That's right. You can't turn the body, and that looked close.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 51 with the helmet blow to the head. That penalty is declined. Defensive pass interference. Number 21. That penalty is accepted. Automatic first down.
And so it will be a 16-yard penalty. The first pass interference penalty against this Vikings defense all season.
Boy, I didn't know if Lance Johnstone even hit. I know he hit Harrington,
right?
But I didn't know he hit him in the head.
Well, it doesn't matter. They got the pass interference penalty.
You're right.
So.
It is irrelevant. It's not irrelevant to Johnstone getting fined.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
It comes out of his pocket later on this week. Lions have the ball now at the 46-yard line. And now all the officials want to get together. Not quite sure what the discussion is here.
Kurt, take a look at Lance Johnstone comes through right there. You know what, Kurt? I don't think he hit him on the head.
Yeah, which means he probably won't be fined. I mean,
right.
They really slow that down and see something we did not see there. First down at the 46 for the Lions. 3 wide receivers in again. Harrington against the blitz. Incomplete, intended for Oz Hakeem. And keep in mind, the Lions are playing without one of their weapons in tight end Michael Ricks, who's out with a groin injury.
Well, I'll tell you, I really like Willie Shaw's decision to come with the blitz, Kurt, because the blitz is what forces Harrington to go underneath, but Hakeem definitely should have caught that pass.
2-minute warning. Vikings fans hoping their defense can play the role of Troy Percival or Eddie Guardado, whichever one is in that situation.
Well, big plays have been the downfall of this defense all season long, and even today. Harrington's come up with big pass plays.
They show blitz. On second down, Harrington throws that one incomplete, tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looked like someone got Harrington's arm on that, or tipped the ball. So I think it was Lance Johnstone got his hand on the ball.
You see just one timeout left for the Lions, but more importantly, they've got a big third down right now.
Watch Johnstone. You see him right there, and there's that hand comes up, and he just nicks it. Another batted ball.
Well,
Chris Hovan had the big batted ball on third down that ultimately led to the Vikings go-ahead touchdown.
They've got to get to the 44 of Minnesota. Flag down on the play, pass complete to Oz Hakeem, who's down to the 31. But let's see what the flag is for.
You know, Kurt, Harrington is not a running quarterback, but he has excellent pocket mobility. He has the ability to avoid the rush and stay in the pocket.
Defense lined up in the neutral zone, offside, number 79. That penalty is declined. First down.
That's called on Kenny Mixon, but it won't matter. They completed the pass for 23 yards.
Vikings come with a 5-man blitz here. Here come the linebackers up the middle. Here comes Mixon around the top. And Harrington just steps up in the pocket. He's evasive, and he's able to find Azazir Hakeem sitting down in the soft spot of the zone.
And he took a shot while doing it. First down for the Lions at the 31. Harrington steps up. Open in the middle of the field was Avion Cason, and he couldn't get it to him.
Well, I don't know if that ball was tipped or not, Kurt, but Harrington was under some pretty doggone good pressure. And I think Hovan may have gotten himself another one. The only way to stop Harrington really has been with pressure. Here's Hovan right here. I'm not sure if he got it or not. His hand goes up. And he just with the fingertips and able to take enough off of that ball. Otherwise, that could have been a touchdown.
And Cason was wide open. So it's 2nd and 10. Scotty Anderson threw a couple of Vikings out to the 19-yard line and a first down. 12 yards on the play.
Wow. You know what? They're coming with that blitz. They're coming with that pressure. I think if you're going to blitz Harrington, you might as well blitz 6, because 5 is getting just enough pressure. 6 might knock him down.
Harrington to the air quickly. That's to Schlesinger out of the backfield. He gets a gain of 6 down to the 13 as we approach the 1-minute mark left in this game. Lions, one more timeout.
You know, the other thing you want to think about is you don't want to score too soon against Dante Culpepper's strong arm with Moss downfield.
Harrington over the 300-yard mark for the first time in his career. Gets this one to Corey Schlesinger inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line, and a first down.
Yep, and look, they're going to let this thing run right down, because you want to give it, you want to be able to score here and then give it back to the Vikings with no opportunity to come back.
Inside 30 seconds, Harrington. Whistles blow.
Minnesota called timeout. That's their 3rd and final timeout.
So the Vikings use their last timeout with 24 seconds left to go. Actually, I think he's wrong. I think it's their 2nd timeout. Well, the Vikings call the timeout nonetheless to stop the clock while they sort out just how many they have left.
Well, Kurt, a lot of yards by both teams. Detroit with 301, Minnesota 291. But remember, at halftime, Detroit had a 21-10 lead.
Well, they led at 14-0, 5.5 minutes to go, or 5.5 minutes into the ball.
They opened right up. Harrington drove right down, 2 big passes to Michael Ricks, the tight end. The second one for a touchdown, and then Chris Claiborne took an interception that was served up to him by Derek Alexander. Culpepper delivered the ball perfectly to Eric Alexander. Alexander dished it up. Claiborne took it in for a touchdown to make it 14-0. But the Vikings have kept their composure all game long, certainly on the offensive side of the ball. And now they need their defense to come up with another big play.
And the officials have clarified Minnesota does have a timeout left. So do the Lions. So each team with one timeout remaining. 25 seconds left to go. And Detroit with a first down at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, and this Vikings defense has given up so many big plays this season. Now Hovan and the rest of them need to come up with a big play of their own.
On first and goal. 3 receivers in for Detroit. Harrington towards the end zone, incomplete, intended for Scotty Anderson, but Ronnie Bradford was right there with it.
Nice coverage by Bradford. Vikings came with the blitz on that. So Bradford was isolated man-to-man in his coverage.
Second and goal. Do you have to go to the end zone with the one timeout left?
No. You're nodding your head. I know I answered correctly. No, because just because what you said, you've got that one timeout,
which gives the rookie some options. Goes towards the end zone, lofts it up, and is picked off. Corey Chavis with the interception. And the high fives began on the Vikings sideline. They're on the verge of their first victory of the season.
So the defense that gives up the big plays comes up with a big play of their own. It's a corner route. Harrington lays it up, and Chavis just plays it and times it perfectly. Dante Culpepper's patience and composure in this game pays off, finally.
Chavis with his second interception of the season. First pick thrown all day by the rookie, and talk about the time to do it.
Chavis finished this game strong, Kurt. Remember on the last Detroit series, on first down, he had the coverage deep on Hakeem.
Well, remember,
second down, he stops the run play to the outside.
And he also got called for a big pass interference penalty on this possession.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is a way to redeem yourself perfectly.
There's Tyson's going to get his first shower of Gatorade.
His first ever victory as a head coach gets him the Gatorade shower.
And he's got the pencil right back in his ear.
He's got to put it right back. One of the most impressive things when you're around this team is they are 0-4 coming into today, but none of those guys quit. None had their heads down, and they seem to be responding to this coaching staff, even though they had not won a game before today. But now even that is history as the Vikings get the first win of the Mike Tice era. And Marty Mornhinweg and the Lions fall short after leading in this game by a couple of touchdowns. Both teams now 1-4 after the 31-24 win by the Vikings. More to come from the Metrodome right after this. The Minnesota Vikings outscore the Lions 21-3 in the second half and get their first victory of the season, 31-24. Down on the field to Mike Goldberg, who is with the winning quarterback.
Well, thank you very much, Kurt. Dante Culpepper, you just said, man, did we need to get this one?
Yeah, we needed it bad, and but the main thing is we got it behind us. We got our first win. Now it's time to get into the season, and let's go. We got 11 more.
How tough was it to keep the offense diversified when you got down in the football game early?
Well, we just wanted to continue to take what they were giving us, and their linebacking core did a good job, but Jimmy Klein-Seltzer and Brian Chamberlain made some big plays for us.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for holding on.
Thank you.
That's Dante Culpepper. Mike Tice gets his first win. Back upstairs, Kurt.
All right, our UPS Numbers for the day. Of course, UPS delivers a chance for you to win a big screen TV to watch the big game. Just log on to foxsports.com for more information on that. And you see big days from both quarterbacks. 309 yards for the rookie Harrington, but it comes in a losing cause. Michael Bennett, a career high, nearly 140 total yards.
Well, Kurt, go all the way back to the beginning of this game. We said if the Vikings were going to get their first win, they had to eliminate turnovers. They came in -10. Today, they were even on turnovers. They had one. Detroit had one, and that enabled them, along with that offensive balance, to get their first win.
And their first win under head coach Mike Tice, as the Vikings go to 1-4 on the season. They visit the New York Jets next week. The Lions fall to 1-4. They've got the Chicago Bears coming their way. For my partner Tim Green and everyone who's been a part of this one here at Fox Sports, we thank you for tuning in. The final, once again, Vikings over the Lions 31-24.
Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. Stay tuned for baseball playoff action.